Hail, welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. It is Tuesday, the 6th of January. I am, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back post-Christmas haze. This podcast episode is called 33 Days of Night, and I don't need to probably explain what that's in reference to. The last time I think we were on here was the Christmas extravaganza when we did our raffle. We'll talk about that somewhat as we go on. Going to be joined by a full squad tonight, starting off with the man who's... liver has been punched by Mike Tyson. Liam Power.
I feel like I've been drunk for the whole of Nancy's spell at Celtic, mate. It's like a bad dream.
Well, wait till you hear what happened.
I didn't come out of the shower and find Martin O'Neill, but other than that, feels like a bad dream.
Fucking like who shot JR. Ladies and gentlemen, the man whose Christmas is most important to us for Jesus Higgins, what's happening?
How you doing? Hail.
All good, mate. All good. They're resplendent in your Everton jersey. My wee lad is yet to wear his to his training. Piss off his Liverpool supporting coach. It's coming though. We're going to pick our moment. And also, of course, the man in the background who's going to break some sense to the game, Scott McCurry.
Fuck Custody. How's he going?
All good. We await the emergence of Marty Flynn at some point, whatever his handle name will be tonight. I suppose this is going to be a podcast that kind of focuses on the period from when Nancy came in to when he left, which is quite fresh in the memory. But do we want to talk a wee bit about the kind of raffle first and kind of how things went after that, just to give a wee bit of a brief sort of nod because it went so well and
go for it, Joe.
Go. Well, we ended up pulling in over $7,000, I think it was, at the end of the day, and the majority of it went to very, very good use. I'm really sure most people got their prizes. Some people, like Craig in Dubai, who won the fucking Coolies Rebel gig, that's going to need to be coordinated by other people who may or may not invite Craig to that gig. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, it was just, again, going into Christmas, for us to be involved in all that and for that, and everything, Christmas is a busy period for everybody anyway, and see to kind of be involved in that and have that part of your kind of agenda and part of your kind of schedule. There's something brilliant about it, right? Because you're involved in something a lot bigger, something a lot higher, and the kind of feedback you get from the people we trust, and then the feedback you get from people who win prizes is just brilliant, and it's kind of this sort of, to me anyway, this podcast alchemy whereby we kind of come out and go, we're going to have a raffle. What are you raffling? We don't fucking know. I mean, and then come Christmas Day, whatever the fuck, like Christmas, whatever, we're sitting there going like, that went really well. I mean, and so I just kind of wanted to say to everybody that, like, you know, we all really appreciate what you did in helping us out and supporting it, and we really hope that you know, you understand the good we were able to put into people's lives through your very generous donations. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Yeah, Joe, just a few things. Sorry, I've been locked out of the fundraiser page for some reason. But you know, we had some pretty sizable donations after the draw was made as well, which, you know, is a massive kudos to those people. Which just, you know, as with most people, the prizes are just incidental; they're just something on the side. So, you know, real big thanks. Someone put over 200 quid in after the draw had been made to top us up to, I think it was $6,000 or 6,000 or something at the time. So, you know, more than we could have ever expected. We've had a bonus ball draw on the side as well that's bringing us another 600 quid in from one of our good friends of the show. That money's still to come. We paid out tons and tons of money, and when we get the bonus ball money in, we're going to have about $4,500 still sat, you know, waiting to be used. I think I counted, we had something like 34 or 36 prizes that we gave out in the end, or that we raffled. We found lots of the winners, not all of them. There's still quite a few prizes outstanding, unclaimed. Some people, I won't name and shame them in a good way, but some people won some really big prizes and handed them back to us and said use them for somebody else, which we'll try and work out a way of doing. So I mean,
So I'm walking about with a Gucci bag now, loving life.
We're gonna need to fucking get a storage unit for fuck's sake.
And your skin's looking great, Jason. You smell
Fucking
beautiful.
brilliant. Oh, Gary Adoro took me in, by the way. Fucking laugh me.
Covered in goop with a Fangita candle walking around with a Gucci bag.
He says he's waiting on the Fangita candle, and Bo Gary finished his work and bloody he got a bus up to Celtic Park, and I picked him up, made to get the I dropped him off at the train station after. He was delighted,
Brilliant.
you know, and he was trying to give us a wad of money to put into the, you know, to add into it again. I'm like, no, you want it fair and square. Let's get a drink on us. You're like, bloody hell, you entered the raffle, you know, that's it.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Gary. He won the lounge tickets before, and he thoroughly enjoyed them. So good guy. So well done to everyone that won. There are still prizes unclaimed. You know, we managed to find the people that won the bricks, and we've got their inscriptions. And Jason, I think you're taking care of all that for us.
They're all ordered.
Yeah, and that's great. So you know, the prizes will sit there for people that if people do come forward anytime soon, we'll kind of recirculate the list of winners out again. But incredible donors for prizes, incredible amount of money raised, incredible amount of money circulated across the whole year and around the Christmas period, and by our standards, loads still left to use. So huge thanks to everyone again.
Yeah, and that will continue as the year go forward. Just like as we mentioned, that suppose at Christmas, like I mean, we do continually have not necessarily have our feelers out there, but we have a network of people that we know are in touch with people at times that need throughout the year, and we address that. So yeah, it's amazing what we're able to do. Yeah, so that's us out the way. Let's get down to business. I'm trying to think of what we said about Nancy in the last podcast. Only thing I could recall was us saying, like, we got to get behind this guy because that's just the way it is. And I said, well, I want to ask you, right? At what point did that thought or concept completely fall apart for you?
Me, it was Motherwell, Fir Park.
Yeah.
Before then, I had doubts, obviously. You know, Dundee United, walking out there, you're just like, fucking hell. But then you get 2 victories and you're like, a wee bit of false hope. But walking out of Fir Park, they just fucking dismantled us and they were fucking pathetic. And you were just like, that was it for me. Didn't have any hope whatsoever that anything would turn around after that. I do feel sorry for him, but...
Yeah, I think he was exposed to something that nobody should have been exposed to. Like, I mean, obviously a lot of poor decisions and a lot of fucking bullshittery and fuckery led to him actually being sitting in the dugout. But I mean, I'm no fucking psychologist and I'm no fucking mass reader of people. Like, but we all kind of had a bit of an inkling in the beginning. They're going like, I don't know about this guy, because you kind of read people to a certain degree, but the fact that nobody along so I listened to a podcast today and somebody said on it that he must have interviewed very well, right? And that's grand. People interview very well, but you need to have a fucking sense of people and whether they can actually handle the job, because you need to know what the job is and what is expected. And I feel somewhere along the way there was a complete abandonment of any kind of thought or logic about that.
Do you actually think he interviewed against any other candidates?
That I doubt. I doubt that.
No.
I don't think so. I just think he was earmarked for the job, and it was a chat, and it was, well, you come, aye, right, you're the man. I don't know, but I don't think Celtic had a big portfolio of potential managers that they were fucking sifting through.
Yeah,
interviewing.
I read somewhere, Jason, the other day that I can't remember the exact date, right? But someone said something like Rodgers was binned on the 28th of October, for example. I might have got that wrong, whatever the days, and then Gordon Strachan was at an event 3 days later and said at that event, the new man will come in December. So it's obviously who it was. It's obvious it was dealt with quite quickly, which is not the Celtic way at all. So I think, like, you're right. It's just this is a guy we've got an eye on. Are you available? And you come whenever you're ready.
See, when you actually break it down, I know we're going to talk about the game on Saturday and stuff like that, but see, when you break it down, see the amount of missed opportunities in the games. See if he'd a centre forward worth earning at all, he'd have been out of sight in most of the games. You know, it's like It's how things turned out. And I think the guy was way at his depth. But if he'd a decent goalie and he'd a centre forward, he would have won fucking most of them. Wouldn't they have won the Roma game? Arguably. He wouldn't have won the Motherwell game, arguably. Right? They destroyed us. Every other game, you could have won them easy.
Yeah.
Every single game. You know, the chances that we gave up. I actually watched the highlights of Saturday's game there. 9 shots on target we had. And see, sitting at the game, I didn't even realise it. See, when they went 1 each, we had 3 good chances after that.
Yep.
Before they went 2-1 up.
But Jason, see, if we never stuck to a fucking mad system, we probably wouldn't have conceded the goals. We might have won 1-0 and we'd all be fucking happy.
And it was like individual mistakes. I mean, you look at the third goal, Schmeichel, what the fuck? You look at the second one, Ralston, obviously the guy, and then it's just a fucking culmination of fuck-ups. And it's just absolute fucking... They weren't even in the game. You know, and they've come away from that as if they absolutely thumped us. We actually fucking battered them. And just Johnny Kenny's on... He's hit the target with both of them, but they were kind of... The keeper, it was a cracking save for his second one. Big Trusty misses a sitter. Maeda, the one by the post. Fucking Negrin. The amount of chances we had was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, you just look at... And you go to feel sorry for him because he must have been saying, how did we not win that game there?
Yeah, and like you said, if you look back at the other games, I mean, if you did a correlation of the missed chances, I mean, you know, you remember fucking Maeda in the middle of the goal, he's missed the goal completely. Engels, a header, in the centre of the goal, he's hit the post.
Johnny
Kenny's misses, it's fucking, mate, it's unbelievable. He's definitely had no luck, but he's definitely done nothing to help himself either in that whole period.
No.
In my view, and you know, Joe, going back to your question, for me, like you remember back when we won the treble and everyone was buzzing, and then the Ludes come through about Neil Lennon getting the job in the shower, and it's a total fucking pin in the atmosphere. You know, I remember for the Hearts game when you saw the team sheet come out an hour and a quarter before the game, and you're like, "Fuck me, man, he's gone full pelt with this new system." That for me was like, this is not giving me a good feeling whatsoever. As it transpired, but like he could have won that game as well. To be fair, you know, if you get your chances done early on, but you know, I was trying to be cautiously optimistic about him, but from that point on, it was a struggle to have a lot of faith.
To me, personally, there was 2 moments when I was like, the 2 massive fucking like flashes of reality, of proper clarity, going like, oh fuck, this guy he's underestimated what he's doing. He's underestimated what he's in. He thinks that his ideology is going to fucking bear fruit no matter the environment or the league or whatever. He's completely misjudged this whole thing, and everybody has. Was 2 things. 1, Liam Scales essentially on the wing sending crosses. Right? That was just fucking baffling to me. Right? 2, the 2 goals against Livingston, the 2 early goals, both had the same issue. There was no right back to close down the guy who scored them. He was just there and they had time to set himself, and he could run, he could take a touch, and there was nobody there. The only person near to him was Yang. Yeah. And I actually watched it with our column in Dublin. Then they made him and his dad and my cousins and all for a bit of lunch. And just the 2 of us looked at each other and like, what the fuck? What the fuck is actually going on? Because like anybody, I'm not a football coach, he's not a football coach, but we both know like that if a guy is positioned there on the pitch and you don't have a defender near him, more often than not, he's going to get a shot away and he's going to be on target. And it was just fucking insane.
And they've got a goalkeeper that can't fucking save anything. You know,
aye,
shot on target's a goal. Fucking, at the end of the day, Martin Hill was never renowned for having good goalies, and I hope he fucking notices this. He's got to get dropped immediately. He is an absolute car crash. He's pathetic.
That 3rd goal against that was like a glitch on FIFA. You're playing your son on FIFA and your fucking keeper doesn't go down quick enough. That's what it was like. It's a glitch on FIFA.
He could have saved if he's right foot. It's fucking kicked out.
Unbelievable.
I'm not defending him because he's fucking hopeless. I do think it took a nick off Trusty, that whether that was enough to just I don't know, just take his eye off it or deviate it. But
But do you not think a younger, better keeper is fucking sprightly enough to get down quick enough? Because he went down fucking. I mean,
It was
down
six,
slower than Titanic, for fuck's sake.
it was 6 inches to his right, Liam. And it
I
wasn't even
know.
that hard.
It didn't deviate much, but I don't know. Just sometimes just a slight deviate. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sticking up for him, but there was a nick there. But he's been fucking hopeless since the cup final, hasn't he? Like that last season, to be honest.
I know.
Giving the ball away consistently.
But so it's just thanks for the memories, Wilfred. But see you later, pal.
Do you know what my first thought was when I seen he was sacked? I was like, fuck me, I'd want to have some crack editing this end of season DVD. How do you fucking narrate your way through that?
It wasn't just right. So see all the chances, right? But it was every second half an absolute capitulation. And what was he saying to them at half time? What was he doing at half time? They were playing out their skin in the first half. Was he not talking to him before the game as well? And you look at all the first halves who are outstanding on like half of the occasions that he managed, 4 of the games. And then they came out in the second half and just fucking fell apart.
Do you know, I listened to that. I see that podcast with Charlie Mulgrew, Scott Brown, and Kevin Thompson that was posted on the huddle board there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I watched it. It was very, very, very good. A lot of really good shots because they spoke about Nancy a lot. And they spoke about player management not there. And Scott Brown said, I've been in that position. He said, like myself, he said, I've gone on half time on a good performance and said, a whole lot, and they've gone out and fucking fell apart. He goes, I learned to myself, I want to shut the fuck up and say the bare minimum and let them go back out and do it again. You know what I mean? He said, like, I don't know what this guy's been doing, I don't know what he's been saying. He said, like, but he said he's whatever it is, it's just not working and the players aren't responding. But if you get a chance to listen to that podcast, it's very, very, very good. Three of them are very informative.
The players have got to take a lot of responsibility as well. They're all professional players, right? And like, it just shows you if a guy comes in and you don't like him and like how they just fall apart. And it's so weak. You would think players worth their salt would still be able to play fitter. And they just didn't. They just like fucking were running about as if they didn't know what they were doing.
But, I suppose you have to appoint in professional football where like you're conditioned to just follow strategy and tactics and direction and blah blah blah. I mean, I suppose that's part of the kind of skill of concentration and focus. But like, do you think maybe did Luke McCown fire the first arrow in his interview? Do you think?
I think what you said there, Jason. I think the players didn't. The players looked like they didn't know what they were doing in almost every game.
Aye.
Almost every game. And I know you can say that the professional players, blah, 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 but I think the system was so... See, if you had 3 defenders at the back, 3 like centre-halves at the back, and then the rest was as it was. I think that would have made a massive difference. I just think it was...
We played with 1 centre-half.
Yeah. Like, see that first goal, when you watch it back from a kind of higher angle, I mean, all the players are sucked into one corner of the pitch, and then, like you said, the ball comes across, and you've got Yang trying to mark fucking Chamiti, which is bonkers, but...
I mean, there's no doubt about it. A top manager makes some difference to a football team. Unbelievable. But it's just crazy that you've got these professional football players that are all quality football players. Maybe no fucking world class, but they're all proper good football players that can just absolutely fall apart. And they just give no confidence in the guy leading them. And it's just, it's fucking wild. It's just bonkers. And it's just a domino effect, isn't it? Because obviously if Karl Marx knows his game, then the doubt seeps through the rest of them, and it's just fucking something goes wrong, they lose a goal, and it's just fucking next thing, just panic stations.
I think as well you've got to put a bit of it down to that. I mean, the players are professionals and highly paid, but that's their 3rd manager in like 4 or 5 months or whatever. Transform them into a brand new system where they've just had their confidence lifted back up. They've just got into a bit of rhythm, just got a few results under the belt, and
I know.
It's fucking wild, man.
And you look for the start of the season. Liam Scales was arguably our best player.
Yep.
And he just gets dropped like a hot tie, or told to play in mental positions that he doesn't even play. Just why the fuck do you do that? It's insane.
Well, does anyone know what is the purpose of playing 2 fullbacks in those positions? Like Scott, do you know tactically what the drill is there? What the benefit is?
It's not far off with what we done with Greg Taylor in theory. It's just so that you've always got somebody pushing up and pressing. I mean, before he started the job, mine folk were talking about, his teams were relentless because they had the ball constantly and they just kept coming. And he spoke about how they controlled the midfield and they were always waiting for that area to attack it with and stuff like that. So that's the basic of it. They were supposed to push on, and you're just supposed to kind of overwhelm with attacking players. That's how I read it anyway, mate.
Yeah.
And see, to be honest with you, Scott, it would have worked if we'd somebody to put the ball in the net, because there was plenty of occasions where we were absolutely overwhelming the opposition.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
Until you go to Europe against a team that's going to fucking pick you up.
Until you come up against fucking Motherwell.
Exactly.
Right. So I don't disagree with anything you've said. Right. I don't think we should sit here and eviscerate Nancy at all, because we say that before we appointed him, we say that when we were linked with him, we say that after he got appointed, we say that after his first couple of games, we say that after the cup final. To get thrown into this stage of the season is garbage. For us to think it was a good idea was garbage. To give him the job, I mean, ultimately this comes 100% down on a shower of fucking knobs who run our club and refuse to take any blame for anything, refuse to take any control of any situation that doesn't involve passing it after a copper to chip fucking boys out of grun. But the fact is, right, so we got to a point amongst us where we felt Brendan Rodgers' time was up. We felt that there was a point Brendan Rodgers was actually harming the club. Now, time has been fucking wonderful for Brendan Rodgers, in my opinion. Absolutely wonderful, because everything he said is generally true. The fact we've not got a striker isn't bad luck on Wilfred Nancy. It's this club. The fact that we never had a striker ready for that Huns game on the first day of the transfer window is on this club. It's on the people who tell us they know what they're doing and they don't take the blame. It wasn't in Wilfred Nancy. Wilfred Nancy has got his own things to, but life's shit sometimes. Sometimes it's a wrong time, right? And sometimes, and you live and learn. See the fact that we stopped fan media the week he got appointed. See the fact we took fucking weeks and weeks and weeks to appoint him, and then appointed him by all accounts because it was cheaper. We never even gave him a fucking 2-week window with the internationals. We never gave him good grace with that. When he sat at his first press conference, he didn't have the fans in to fucking to create a bond with them that you spoke about with the Ange situation, right? Tisdale wasn't sitting beside him when he was doing his first press. Fucking Nicholson, CEO, wasn't sitting beside him, as is repeatedly. You spoke about, do you think we actually done a proper interview process? And see, when you say it like the way you did, we probably didn't, which then means they're duty bound to give this guy more time. They are duty bound. I'm so fucking glad they didn't, but these cunts have fucking sold him a pup. I dare say the boys walked away with a fucking wad in his pocket, and that'll be good for him. But the malaise in the club and the fucking it's no my fault and don't blame me and it was Rodgers. It's stinking. It's rotten our club now. It's absolutely rotten. I see. We're also desperate to get answers. We're fucking flinging blame everywhere. Rodgers got it, Nancy got it, Tisdale got it. When ultimately it's the people at the top of the fucking tree, and they're rotting the way down.
I don't know.
Jason, we spoke about it fucking. Remember the Aberdeen game when I came in? I was fucking blazing. I mean, ultimately I was proved right. Know what I mean? I don't take any fucking joy in that, but you were waiting for it to explode. Liam spoke about the Motherwell game and how we had a fucking great day. Remember, we're on the boozer, brilliant. But you had 10 guys, us guys, right? And anybody that listens to this fucking podcast can count on about 10 occasions we've sat and overly talked about fucking formations.
Tactics.
What did we do sitting in that boozer that
It's
night?
like, oh, you were talking about, you're trying to work out your head.
Exactly. And everybody had a different kind of X. So you had a big bunch of guys in there, fucking a Christmas day out, basically, and fucking we're all sitting and talking about formations. And that, I suppose that is on the manager. And due to that, he probably lost the players. So that's on him. I heard a great point in the day, or did I read it? They said that Martin O'Neill came in and all he spoke about was confidence, and he raised the confidence within our team. And then Nancy comes in, I think it was on the Celtic exchange, and Nancy comes in, and not that he talked them down, he basically just kept saying, oh, these guys need to learn, these guys need to learn, these guys need to learn.
Aye.
These guys are sitting going, well, we've won fucking everything in this fucking league, and you've no, so fuck up, right?
Straight away.
And then coming to the squad itself, I think I'm fucking done with the vast majority of them, mate. Right? And we've had conversations about generally every player, right? And I know it's all fucking great to go at Schmeichel and now Hatate gave up. Engels looks like fucking lost, right? And I get that they're all confused. And see Scales, right? And yeah, I agree. Scales was looking better in a fucking limited system. But see the fact that Scales can't fucking raise a level to be what we something better. That says to me he's no good enough. It's the same as Johnny Kenny. We're all sitting here, and it's no Johnny Kenny's fault. It's no Ralston's fault to get stuck in. But what it's proven to us is they're fucking limited players, and we need to get fucking rid of them. And Brendan Rodgers has been saying this all last summer, and what did he get for it? He get fucking his arse felt off a fucking prick. So I've got to admit, is the relief yesterday that we replaced Nancy, and the fact, see, to be honest, I love Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill really is a sacred cow to me, but he's 73-year-old. He came in, done a great job for us, and we've went back to him. We're a club with no fucking vision.
No.
We just such a Peter Law's away, so we replaced him with Brian Wilson. Know what I mean? and people are all talking about,
You'd rather have Law back.
Let's get Kyogo back. Let's get fucking Giacomakis back. Celtic have actually drilled it down to us that the only good players we can get are the cunts that failed when after they left us. That's what Celtic have fucking done to us.
Aye.
And I think honestly, in the last day, I've just got angrier and angrier. And don't be starting on Scales. No, well, see, to be honest, that typifies the whole fucking situation. It really does typify the whole situation that we're saying, don't be starting the Scales, he's the best we'll go. Well, that's a sad indictment to it, gents, that fucking Celtic have allowed it. Because
I think
we should be looking for better, always looking for better, and we're not.
But I think Scales and Trusty under Matt O'Neill were really good.
Yeah. But do you see my point, right? And I agreed with you, Jason. Right?
I totally agree with everyone.
No, I did agree, and I found myself defending Scales constantly over a lot of other people. But I'm kind of just new at this stage, right? And once we get back to games, I'll support them like I always do. But right now, I'm kind of going, we're allowing ourselves to be dumbed down. And Brendan Rodgers tried to stop us from dumbed down, and we saw what happened. And quite horribly, with hindsight, we turned on him as well. We joined in the fucking booting.
It's a good point.
Whereas the club and the guys at the top level have they just keep hitting us with the stick. They just keep hitting us with a stick, and they're dumbing us down. And I'm fucking spewed, to be honest.
See-
And
see-
by the
see-
way, just to finish my point, we can crack on. See if Martin O'Neill manages to get the fact is now. Yesterday morning, I didn't believe we were a viable title contender, and today I think we are. But we're a title contender. I don't think we're favourites. I don't expect Martin O'Neill to fucking rip up any trees. If the club have got anything about him, they'll go and get him fucking what he needs to win the league. But I don't trust him to do that. And that's pretty much it.
But see, no, you're totally right in everything you said. But see the point when they're going about those above him. I don't think there's anybody above him that matters apart from fucking Desmond. I think we've got a board in name only. Our board have got no power whatsoever. None of them today anything without Desmond getting at the go ahead. And I think that's the fact of the matter. We've got people in positions in the board in name only, as far as I'm concerned, because nothing happens in that football club without Desmond deciding it. And he doesn't even own the club, and he's a fucking dictator.
Well, then, see, when you mentioned about the interview process, do you think, obviously, I mean, like, his appointment went the same way as all the other ones? It's like going, like, he was walked into a lunch or fucking a meeting with Dermot Desmond, and eventually Dermot Desmond lit the white smoke and went, "This man, he is the one." I mean, is that how it went? Because, I mean, if that's how we're deciding managers, we're living in a fucking fantasy world.
Well, I think Desmond, whether he says to Nicholson, right, you've got my blessing to go and do that with this guy or whatever, but nothing happens without him rubber stamping it. I'm convinced of that. I don't think anything happens at Celtic without him fucking having the final say.
Right, so then, essentially, right, a football club at its core and a board and all that sort of thing, essentially, it's a big, massive co-production model, isn't it? Really, it's a big, massive collaboration of things, right? I know there's essentially a person in charge, but that's, you know, sometimes that can work, you know, in the way we can see it working, it become dictatorial, right? Is that where we're at now? The past way, just this one guy gets to say what happens. This one guy.
Like I say, Joe, this has been the case for a long time, a long time. And it's just, as I keep saying, it's this season. We've scratched the surface a wee bit more than we've ever done in the past, and it's kind of freaked us out. It freaked us out to see how, what's the word? How fallible we are, how fucking weak we are in terms of. I mean, I was told a story this week, right? So Peter Law was put up as the fucking. Again, I said this last time, but I'll go again. But Peter Law was put up as the face of Celtic, and Peter Law took the hits, and he became the boogeyman, and we all kind of hated him. We wanted him out, and nobody mentioned him, and nobody mentioned his influence, even though he was a guy that appointed Martin O'Neill back in the day. He overruled the board, who wanted Gus Hiddink, as well we know, and I think, I mean, we've got to guess that the Ronnie Dahlia one didn't come for him. However, it was hugely influenced by the City group, because when you think about it, we try to appoint Roy Keane as manager. So it's his influence on it hasn't been, well, it didn't seem to be the biggest concern. Peter Law seemed to be the biggest concern. And once he kind of shunted out the way, we saw what happened with Don Mackay. However good or bad he may have been at his job, the fact is we don't know. We can only speculate. Peter Law, the way he kind of ran Celtic worked because Scottish football's weakness. If we're brutally honest about it, it worked because of Scottish football's weakness and the fact that we were always available to spend that wee bit more and be that wee bit more. It allowed us to always be the one in front. We made an asset here and there. Maybe we gambled, and I've got to say, a lot of the gambles we take generally don't work. I mean, the gamble we took this summer is fucking. It's madness to think people would generally get sacked for that because you're costing your company, your club, fucking a wad of dough. But I was talking to a guy, and he said he was at a Celtic Association meeting. and it was back when the Huns appointed Gerrard. And so we would have had Rodgers at that point, and they were at the meeting, and they were all sitting there talking, and said, so at the end of the meeting, they all spoke and stuff like that, and he said, right, we've got 15 minutes left. Does anybody get any questions? And we'll keep it kind of light and all that, and I'll let you know. And they're all like, Brown was getting questions. And the guy I know kind of asked the question. He says, Peter, the Huns have got Steven Gerrard now, and I've got to presume they're going to be flinging dough at this. What have we put in place to make sure that we'll always be? And Peter Law basically mocked the question. What? Who? Who did they appoint? And he was looking around the room. What's the guy's name? He was doing all that part of it. He's doing that. Come on. That's his name you're talking about and all that. Oh, don't. There was no plan. There was no plan in place. It was a case of, we sell it. We'll always be in top. And that arrogance and that fucking attitude ultimately led to what happened, as we know. But it hasn't been removed to the point we got this season, and we got the fucking way he talks to, they talk down to fans, and they dismiss fans, and the way we get knocked out of Europe. So how do they try to fucking bring the dough back? They were charging everybody 45 quid for a Europa League ticket and no fucking concessions. Stuff like that. Just, mate, I've been sick with them all season, but I mean, another thing, what about the Green Brigade? See, the Green Brigade are they've done this, right? So they've made up, so in case you don't know, the Green Brigade aren't getting back in because they refused to accept what the allegations were.
The accusations that the folk.
Yeah. So they refused to accept it. They've said, well, we'll speak to you if you accept this. And they're going, fucking no, because that's not what happened. And God bless them for doing that. I'm delighted with that stance, even though I totally miss them in games. Well done, them.
And that's another thing that Nancy's been fucking hit with the shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Every home game, the stadium's like a fucking morgue, you know. And it just goes to prove that there is no atmosphere at Celtic Park without the ultras, because the boys are obviously there in the stadium, but they're no singing in solidarity with the Green Brigade. And quite right. So you just knew it was going to happen. There was 3,000 of that lot there just fucking having a party. And the only bit when we went 1-0 up, it went quiet for their side, but there was still no atmosphere for our side. You know, it was just a fucking morgue.
You never heard a peep. You never heard a peep for them until they got the equaliser, and then it was all them and all them. And well, again, we've done this part of death, and I dare say we'll keep doing it to death. But just in general, it's just the way they're treating us is just. So back to my point, the Green Brigade, I've seen it for years. The Green Brigade cost us hundreds of thousands in fines. Do you know how much they've cost us? 100,000 fines. How much of that board cost Celtic with decisions in the past 6 months? Millions. Fucking millions. If you back Rodgers to any great degree with the beat Kyrat, I dare say we would have took some fucking hidings in that bloody thing. But with a beat Kyrat, and then you've brought back Martin O'Neill. You've obviously gave him a wad to get you through. You've appointed a guy. You've no backed the guy, rightly or wrongly. You've no backed the guy at all. You've gave him a fucking loan signing. Know what I mean? A Razio boy. You've gave him, that's it. You've no fucking backed him at all. And now you've punted him and you've gave him a wad of dough to bugger off. And we've went back to Martin O'Neill and we're probably giving him another wad. And it's no coming out of fucking Dick Dasserly's pocket. So I think they're culpable. I think the finger should be very much pointed at the aim. That if we don't fucking the fact again, Joseph Agnew said it there was a boycott this weekend. It was happening. And the sad thing is we're taking the boycott away because nobody wants to kind of affect Martin O'Neill. But the boycott now looks like it was only because of Nancy, and it should be because of the fucking scumbags at the top of your tree, or the scumbag, or the fucking clueless cunt, or whatever you want to call it. But
So are they politicking then in that way to a degree? Do you think, Scott?
I think they're always politicking, mate. Somebody spoke to me about the AGM, right? And see if you take a wee step back for it, Joe, right? Again, you've heard me say this in the past about ceding power, but somebody said to me, see the AGM, you walk right into their trap. You walk right into their trap, right? And the guy was saying it to me as almost, you're thick as fuck because they set a trap for you. And my response to that is, why the fuck are the CEO and the chairman of the club that I spend thousands of pounds on setting traps for me? How can that not be a fucking toxic thing?
How's that?
We talked about this at the time when it was quite fresh. I think the week after it was like, I think we all agreed that like what they wanted was reactive abuse.
Yeah.
They set out to get reactive abuse. And you know who does that? If you look it up psychologically, it's a narcissistic trait. It's a deep narcissistic trait. Reactive abuse. If you feel you can get a reaction to somebody, you realize you can control the situation, control the moment, and then you can then imprint or impact whatever it is you want to be in the narrative on top of that, because you have now taken this person's power away from them by getting them to react in an emotional way that you fucking knew they were going to do, and therefore you set out to do it. That is a narcissistic trait in a very deep, dark psychological way.
Joe, behave.
I'm serious. No, that's proved. That's proven fact. Oh, you fucking dick.
Joe, fuck you, man.
My sister's
Take
got
your time there, kid. Alcohol withdrawals.
Sharp on the point, fucking not sharp on
Do you know what, Scott? It would be an ideal time to just say, right, get them back in, right? New manager, fresh start. The board don't lose face as such. Get them back in. Let's get the season up and running. Let's go. Anyone with a fucking any sense at all would look at it that way and go, right, everybody behind it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Get them back in.
Well, then.
What the fuck?
So
it's it's. Well, I know we are biased about the situation because we kind of know a load of them and we generally like them, and at this stage they're fucking badly needed. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. Somebody says Brian Wilson after the Wilfred sacking and then the O'Neill appointment. Brian Wilson's come out as chairman or interim chairman. There you go. There's where we're sitting in the new. We've got a fucking intern chair and an intern manager. You know what I mean? Fucking what a club. Fucking hell, man.
Maybe so, maybe not.
Aye, maybe. But Nathan, know that, guys. One's fucking 86 and one's 73. Fucking hell. That's all the minding fucking club, you know what I mean?
The kids are all right.
What's it at? Hello, fellow kids or fellow young folk.
Hello, fellow youths.
Youth, that was it. So,
what did he say? I didn't see his statement, but did he come up with a statement?
Basically, Brian Wilson came out and he says the circumstances is not what they wanted. Right? I'm paraphrasing. It's not what they wanted. For the man, it's a wee bit heartbreaking and all that. But once again, a call for unity. And see, he keeps calling for unity. Doesn't he fuck all to offer unity? He just keeps calling for it. He keeps basically saying, see all you fucking antagonistic cunts, stop being antagonistic.
Well, if he said that, right, in fact, I did see that state. I didn't know if it was him, right? I just seen it wrote somewhere when I was scrolling.
What do you think it was a Beach Boy one?
So if that was for him, then surely they've got to put the olive branch out now and create the unity. I mean, fuck's sake, the ball's in their court. The Green Brigade have contacted them countless times to try and get them on the table.
Hold that thought, J-Bo.
But you know what, though? I get the feeling that a lot of what is said from Celtic
is lies.
Not even lies, Scott. See, even the stuff that makes sense, like out there, like fucking trying to. I feel like everything they say, they're not willing to implement. Or they're not able to implement.
And they don't say much, to be fair.
So there's a lot of high-paid cunts doing a lot of shit that doesn't actually have any impact on anything. other than a negative impact, right? And we've all worked in places, and you go like, you look around you and you go like, we're not really producing what we should really produce. We're not really fucking affecting things the way we should affect things. And somebody needs to be a leader. And leadership is about decisions. It's all about decisions, right? And yeah, you're getting some wrong and you get some right, but you've got to be able to have the ability to look around at a higher level with a team of people, a small team or a big team, and go, listen, here are the problems I see, and here are the issues that I want to address. What are we going to do about that? Who's got
100%.
ideas? Who's got ideas?
And to back up your point, Joe, and I totally agree with you. I mean, the CEO, I mean, we all know fucking how structures of companies and businesses work. The more you get paid, the less you do, but the more you're culpable for shit.
Aye.
I mean, so, and we've got guys at the top of your tree getting paid a fine wage, and they don't seem to want to put their fingerprints on anything.
But here's the thing, Scott, right, that I always find weird. See people like a higher up, the less they want to have the connection to what's actually happening. And I find that really problematic, right? Because I think, see if you're higher up in the chain and you're culpable for so much and the responsibility lands on your shoulders, you'd be best served to have some connection, some pure, genuine connection to what's happening from the ground up. In terms of a network, in terms of information, in terms of people that can tell you the truth, in terms of people that can actually give you a practical picture on what's actually happening, reports, whatever. It doesn't need to be in depth. It needs to be fucking real. It needs to be you outside the bubble, right? That's important if things are going to move forward, because at the end of the day, attitude trickles down from the top, and it doesn't always, like an arrogant CEO or an arrogant chairman isn't always going to result in someone at the bottom thinking like, we're all fucking on the same team. We're all pushing in the same direction. Let's all have the same ethos. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be on the fucking ball. You've got to be connected. You've got to know what's happening in the stream of production, whatever industry you're in. And if you don't, you're on the plums.
But we've got a CEO that had a meeting with the fans at the start of the season, and he says he took on board that communication could be better and we will work on it. And since then, we've not heard a fucking peep film.
Aye. Do you know who else took on board? The fucking Titanic. How'd that work out?
But it's fucking, they're just fucking. I mean, Esmond must just handpick fucking galoots to fucking get into these positions to just fucking nodding dogs so that he just tells them what to do.
I think it's a kiss-ass environment that these people end up finding fruit out of. And that's not to say that they're all kiss-asses, but I'm saying is if you don't, I suppose, tug the brow to some degree, or play your place, or find your ability to network in, then you're not going to be considered for these things. Look, obviously Nancy had the Tisdale connection. That's like clearly that was his in. And clearly this has somehow fucking resulted in this guy coming in and
who put their faith in Tisdale? Who was the guy who brought Tisdale to Celtic?
There's we go. So I've got in front of me here, right? So this is for the meeting that they had with the fans that you just talked about, J-Bo, right? So Michael Nicholson acknowledged that the club is not in a place where we want it to be, and some recent communications have not been well received by supporters. Michael Nicholson confirmed that the club's strategy is clear. The club aims to be a world-class football club in everything we do. This includes footballing success through dominating Scotland and competing in the UEFA Champions League based on creation of Champions League players through the academy, players recruitment, players training, technical function and development of training facilities. How do you intend to modernise the club's structure to compete in Europe? Mike, and why are we consistently unprepared for qualification stages? Michael Nicholson stated that the club did not accept the premise of the question. Further, he added, the club have appointed Paul Tisdale, the head of football operations, a new position for the club last year. Michael Nicholson confirmed that the manager supported the recruitment of Paul Tisdale following a consultancy period last summer. I mean, you're fucking going. It's desirably vague, isn't it? Everything they say about everything. Because Naney's, I mean, think about it. Paul Tisdale started with Celtic, 18 months ago? And did any of you ever hear him speak?
No.
No, I mean, think of it. Not a word.
We've got a new guy in there, haven't we? We've got a new guy, head of football.
Well, we've got a guy in for Chelsea.
operations.
But there's just no...
You know what he looks like.
Mate. But if it's his birthday, we'll fucking soon know, you know what I mean? Right, well, I apologise for taking it down this road. I just kind of...
Well, I think that's what it was all about. And
I'm getting more and more angry about it. Martin O'Neill, though. What's your thoughts? Right. Do you think Martin O'Neill was the only option?
Yes.
Yeah.
Him or Ange.
Well, Ange would have been a better pill, right? I think, but it wouldn't have taken much smoothing over. I think Martin O'Neill was like going, it's like, here, listen, give him Christmas again. It's second Christmas, let's go. Give him Martin O'Neill. You know what I mean? It's like having Santa come back. You know what I mean? It was a kind of a no-brainer because I think anything outside of maybe those two options would have had all of us going like, fuck, these cunts are trying their luck again. We're trusting these people again with some wild card, right? That wouldn't have worked. And they didn't have enough time to find somebody else because no doubt they'd done fuck all in terms of like, what if Nancy doesn't work out? I imagine after 2 games, somebody might have had a thought in their head, we should maybe start looking at something different. But I'd say they're all resting on laurels going like, be sweet, smartest man in the world, fucking Tisdale got this guy, let's go. And it all backfired and they went fucking pull the Martin O'Neill cord. And Martin O'Neill hopefully has wiped their eye when it comes to a contract, right? Because he fucking deserves it for the fucking shit he's been fucking handed. Like, at the end of the day, there's actually nobody else I can think of that probably could have come in and even-handedly went, I'll do this, no problem. And then handle the press the way he handles the press. Because he's too smart to attack, right? Martin O'Neill can sit there and be like your fucking half-paced uncle throwing out shitty fucking dad jokes, right? And then fucking some of them missing the mark, right? But nobody's going to challenge him on it because he's too fucking wily and witty to even fucking cross. And he's got too much respect on his name for anybody to actually even fucking disrespect him in a press interview. And at this moment in time, in terms of like stability and actual fucking like, fucking club level integrity and fucking avoiding embarrassment, he's the only fucking guy that can handle
it. It's funny, right? There's a YouTube channel I've been watching recently. The managers, and it's Tony Pulis and Mick McCarthy. Basically, 2 old managers telling you how it used to be great. You know what I mean? And they just sit and talk, and I really enjoy it. I mean, sometimes they get guests on, like the Chris Hughton one and the old England manager, what's his name? Roy Hodgson. Brilliant, right? Really, really good. But they laugh about how they retired for the game. And the day that I found out that Tony Pulis says that Celtic's his team up here. So they were talking about the weekend and they were talking about Nancy and that. But I'm sitting looking at these 2 old guys sitting talking about it. And both of them are fucking at least 6 years younger than Martin O'Neill. You know what I mean? It's such a mad thing. It's such a mad situation. As I say, I absolutely love Martin. I don't think after what he'd done, we could have went elsewhere. I don't think Ange would have worked. I really don't think Ange would have worked here in this situation. I don't think the players needed a coach to come in who's distant with them. I think they might need that wee fucking bit of hugging right now. And Ange has kind of proved in the past that he's not that good at that, you know what I mean? And especially the way, I think fan-wise, I think it had to be Mon because of what happened in the past. Do you know what I mean? But what happened there just before Nancy came in?
So let's look at his 8 games that he had, right? Obviously, one well documented. He won 7 out of 8. So 4-0 we beat Falkirk. Pretty good. Really good, in fact. So
yeah.
The bounce factor. And then League Cup semi-final, we beat them 3-1 after extra time. But it was well deserved at the end.
Well deserved, yeah.
Pretty hairy during parts of it when they were at 10 men, but still a good victory. The next game, Midtjylland, we get absolutely destroyed. We were hopeless, right? But they're a decent team. No any world beaters, but they're decent and they mauled us. Then we beat Kilmarnock 4-0. Pretty good, really good. Then we beat St Mirren 1-0. Maybe one of the worst games I've ever seen Celtic play in my life. But with a worldly for McGregor. And then with an amazing result away to Feyenoord, 3-1. That was brilliant. And I know Feyenoord looked terrible, but they were second in the Dutch league. And what a game.
No, I'm not letting anybody take away from that.
That was an amazing result. Absolutely brilliant.
No letting anybody.
Outstanding. And then we win 2-1 at Easter Road. It was all right. It was good. A lot of Celtic teams have got up there and failed, and Hibs are actually a decent side. And then we beat Dundee at home 1-0, which was kind of dross. So he got 7 wins out of 8, which was brilliant. The football wasn't amazing, but it was a hell of a lot better than we'd watched under Rodgers, because it was the team had took a massive dive, and obviously Rodgers is coming out in public saying the team weren't good enough, right? And you mentioned it earlier, Scott, and I don't disagree with him, but if you come out and constantly tell players they're not good enough, then they're going to chuck the towel in, right? Martin Neal came in and tell the players they were the best in the world, and they played for him. So I'm hopeful, especially guys like Nygren, because you seen the interview when he left the last time. He's like, to Nygren, you need to be this guy, you know. Guys like him will be walking in air now. Scales as well. You'll get a chance again. And there'll be like shackles after them, and the players will be absolutely buzzing now. I mean, I know we've got beat with that more on Saturday, but I've got no doubt the players will be absolutely buzzing. So I'm expecting good things, but I'm no daft enough to think that in the 8 games that he was here, we were fucking outstanding, because we definitely weren't. But we had a winning mentality, which, and with a good defence.
There's just a thing. There's a thing that was there that wasn't there under Nancy. Once you go on, maybe you can't go on.
Joe,
Right, I'm gonna get some fucking. I'm gonna get Con here.
Because in the league we only let in 1 goal away to Hibs.
I think he said we conceded 2 under him, and they were both penalties.
No,
nothing from open play. I'm sure there was 2 penalties.
But Rangers scored against us, but that was a League Cup. So your league games were 4-0 against Falkirk, 4-0 against Kilmarnock, 1-0 against St Mirren, 2-1 against Hibs, and 1-0 against Dundee. So league games were only at 1 goal.
It's good, isn't it?
Right, Joe McBride. I wonder if it's really him. Joe McBride has posted. There's 2 YouTube pods playing at the same time. I've been posting on the other one. Right. I've noticed this. Seems to be we're posting one for like a normal one, and then we're posting one for like mobile.
All right.
Right, so I think that's something we need to look at as well, Joe. Because I noticed that there's 2 vids. Once we're finished, there's 2 vids up. But anyway.
Joe said he's gone for a can, but maybe he's gone to the other show for a bit.
Maybe he's away talking to Joe McBride.
I wonder if it is the Joe McBride. He scored against a shite.
But
legend if it's you, mate.
No, I mean, like, so Kevin Gallagher says, fuck's sake, Scott Martin Neal's not going to play in midfield. No, I know, but you do know what I mean. I mean, like,
I'll be honest with you, right? See the age thing, it doesn't really bother me in the slightest. See, like somebody, he's a young 73, you know, and I think that's overrated. What I would say is, when he'd finished his spell at Notts Forest, I was very much of the opinion his time had came and went in football. But needs must, And by all accounts, it's Sean Maloney and Fozzie and Steve McManus that are doing everything, you know. I think he's just coming in to G the players up. And I don't think he's going to be doing any tactical masterclasses with them. I think he'll just be sending the guys out there and getting them playing in their favourite positions or where they're good at and sending them out there to do their best. And I think all the training's coming for, as I said, Maloney, Fotheringham and Steve McManus. So I do think it'll work, but I'm not expecting fireworks. But we definitely need help. We need a striker without a doubt. And I hope he sees sense, because obviously that Casper Schmeichel must be a massive presence in the dressing room. So a guy like Wilfred Nancy, you could totally understand why he wouldn't drop him, because the fucking players were fucking probably chucking him under a bus as it was. But then if he takes one of the biggest characters and drops him, but in the Sinisalo, when he got the shout for Livingston, it must have been because Casper wasn't well. You know, it wasn't a tactical change. But surely to God, Martin O'Neill's going to drop him. I mean, a shot on target is basically a goal. You know, you give up a penalty and you just as well let them centre. You know, how can you have a goalkeeper like that? He still does make the odd good save, right? I'm not saying he's fucking absolutely pathetic, but he's certainly not up to the mark.
No. He's
no danger.
But the fact is, he's out of form. I mean, I do appreciate that he's trying to get to the World Cup and stuff like that, but that's not our fucking fault. We can't be losing leagues because fucking we're trying to send people to the World Cup. He's out of form.
Is he Chinese nationality? Fucking no chance Denmark are getting there.
Who have Denmark got? Have they not got fucking qualifiers?
Aye, they've got 2 qualifiers, but fucking Scotland are pumping them at hand, and I don't think there's much chance for fucking going to the World Cup.
Denmark have his he's in goal.
Aye, they're in the Islands.
Aye, that's what I thought. Aye, I thought the way you were talking about already out, and I was like, did I fucking miss? No. Was I like Liam and fucking missed that when I was dropping?
No, did they play Ireland the first game?
No.
So who's Ireland got in the first game?
By the way, we've got Joe McBride still alive in fucking Ireland playing Denmark. I mean, so what chance have we got?
I'm talking about Joe McBride Jr.
So was I, mate. So I was talking. Joe McBride Jr. used to be coach at Celtic. That's exactly who I meant.
And played with Everton. The Joe McBride I'm talking about.
Everton, did he?
He scored against Liverpool.
I remember. No, I remember there was a Joe McBride who was a coach at Celtic. That's basically how I knew him. Anyway.
So Liam, I thought you were...
Denmark have got North Macedonia next.
Right, and then who's Ireland got?
Ireland...
Liam doesn't even know. Fucking some Irishman he is.
Is it Czech Republic, I thought?
Oh, I said, he doesn't even know. He's... Fucking my heart is in Ireland. It's where I love.
Pay any attention to that international fucking tosh.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Come on, Hamish, you're not back on the Tartan bandwagon now, are you?
Oh, aye, big Tom.
Here we go.
Big Thomas is getting it booked. Big Thomas is getting it booked.
Yeah.
Aye, we see all these folks saying fucking 15, 20 grand it's costing you. It's costing us fucking 1,500 quid. That's flights and digs. Here we go.
Ireland are playing Czechoslovakia, as I told you. Thank you.
Czechoslovakia, they've got together now.
Czech Republic.
You said Czechoslovakia.
Czech Republic, you know what I mean.
We're creating world peace in the podcast, mate. World peace in the podcast tonight, fucking.
Aye. East Germany are playing the USSR.
So fucking, there's no danger fucking Denmark are getting there as far as I'm concerned.
Aye. Anyway, that was good. Let's keep on target. We've been flying about, but Liam, what's your thoughts on Martin O'Neill coming getting the gig again?
Do you know, I was so excited yesterday when that news came through about Nancy going first, and then I think I said on our chat, I thought if it was going to be O'Neill, they'd announce it straight away, like just back to back. it was a bit weird that it took a few hours to do that. And that started me thinking maybe Andrew's going to come back. But I think it's like you said, I think it's just a real indication of how low our standards have got now. I mean, remember back at the start of the season, there was talk about Maloney coming in to replace Brendan Rodgers, and everyone was going off the nuts. Do you know what I mean? And if Maloney would have been announced yesterday, everyone would have been jumping through fucking hoops about it. So it's mad, like where they've taken us here. And when they announced O'Neill the first time round, I was quite critical of it because I'm like, what a lack of thinking, what a lack of imagination. You know what I mean? Just fucking go down my top 5 people on my phone list that I can call there. Actually turned out to be really inspired. So I suppose you've got to give them the credit for that, because I thought it was done. I thought it was completely done as a manager at that sort of level. But it turned out to be pretty inspired and the right person at the right time, you know, to placate the fans and just to bring everybody back up again. But yeah, the league was done. The whole season was done for me on Sunday and Monday, and I said this week's the last opportunity for us to have a go at doing something this season. Because if we'd have played Dundee United and Falkirk with Nancy in charge, we wouldn't have won one of them.
No,
at least, you know what I mean. And probably the away game would have drew or got beat. And I think we'd have found ourselves 6 behind them, and then maybe 10 or 12 behind Hearts at that point in time. And you know, it's done. Your next league game's away at Tynecastle. So I was over the moon last night. Monday Club was on, celebrating the return of the great man.
It sounds like you don't need a reason for that.
An excuse? No, that was the last one, mate. Last one of the year. I was going to say, but it's only the 5th.
Last one of the year. Okay,
so yeah, I'm delighted. You know, like at the end of the day now, it's a straight. It's like a mini league now, isn't it? It's a straight fucking shootout. You know, 18-game league. Hearts have got a little head start as a handicap, 6 points. Everyone's got a transfer window for the next 3.5 weeks. Straight running. I looked at the fixtures a bit today. I think it could be really exciting. And I think, as I said yesterday, I think we should just look to England, look to see players that want to go to the World Cup, that are big players that are not getting regular games. Just try and get 2 or 3 attacking strikers, wingers, good players. Just throw a bit of money at it and get them in there. I think, you know, maybe a centre half. I think the rest of the team's all right, but just get in there and just fucking win games with match winners. You know, just get them in, and that'll do us for the majority of the games in this league. Europe might handicap us a bit because we might just win a game and still get ourselves into the playoff. It's just more games that we don't need. You know what I mean? Whereas Hearts don't have them, and they won't have them either. So, but I'm delighted. He did so well when he came back in. This season's got so many ironies in it, so many twists and turns, and the fact that we bookmarked Nancy's spell and O'Neill's spell with, you know, losing at home to our 2 nearest rivals in both games. You know, drawing them 2 games would have made a difference. Winning one would have made a difference. But the fact that O'Neill leaves, we lose to Hearts, and then we lose to Rangers, and he comes back in, it's the irony's off the scale. And I did have a chuckle yesterday when I read, I don't know if it was Ampadu or somebody, that he's been sacked before he's even got his dogs out of quarantine. He's had to leave them behind and go home, which again is just part of this mad season. Very funny. So I think give him the tools.
I'm just reading this.
Give him the tools and he can do it.
Sorry.
No, carry on, mate. Just say give him the
right,
tools.
bring up, Joe.
I'm just reading the open letter to Brian Wilson from the Collective here. Brilliant.
Right. Well, give a bit of context and then read it, because this is how I was saying to Jason just hold his.
Should I read the whole thing? You want me to read the whole thing?
Go for it. Just for it.
Right. Fucking, this is going to go badly. Right.
Or fucking paraphrase it.
All right. Okay. Well, I can't paraphrase it. I have to read the whole thing. Right. Here we go. On the 9th of September, following a calamitous summer transfer and a 5th Champions League qualification defeat in a row, 420 Celtic supporters, organisations, buses, supporters, clubs and fan media outlets sent a joint open letter addressed to the Celtic board. The letter outlined 3 key areas of concern based around 7 questions. This letter represented the views of tens of thousands of Celtic supporters who wanted greater clarity around the club's footballing strategy and modernisation plans, meaningful accountability for repeated failures, and a significant improvement in how the club engages with and treats its supporters. Following the formation of the Celtic Fans Collective and the commencement of a series of protest actions highlighting the Celtic Board's failure to respond to these concerns, a meeting was arranged between representatives of the Celtic support and the executive members of the Celtic Board. This meeting yielded no progress in addressing the legitimate concerns of the fan base. In the months that followed, things have gone from bad to worse in the park. Celtic dispensed with the services of Brendan Rodgers and his coaching team, sending off with a devastating personal attack on Rodgers from the largest minority shareholder. The interim appointment of Martin O'Neill temporarily steadied matters, with on-field results improving. However, an already difficult season with an underprepared squad was made significantly worse by the inexplicable decision, these are big words, so fuck me, decision to recruit an experienced and ill-equipped manager in Wilfred Nancy to the managerial role, at a point where O'Neill had stabilised the team and reached the cup final. This decision resulted in Celtic losing 4 league matches at a crucial point of the title race, the League Cup final, and will cost the club millions of pounds in lost revenue and compensation. We now find ourselves where we were 5 weeks ago, with Martin O'Neill and staff back, but significantly damaged in results, player confidence, and reputational terms. On to the next page. When the PLC board had the opportunity to take responsibility for some of its failings, most notably during the meeting with fans in October and at the cynically aborted AGM, they chose to double down, insisting that they had delivered success, shrugging off the compelling body of evidence that suggested otherwise. When Brendan Rodgers left his position, Dermot Desmond was allowed to use club channels to attack him and lay all blame at his door for the season to that point. When Wilfred Nancy was removed following a historically disastrous tenure, there was not a single word of contrition to be found within the club communications. Since the joint letter and the founding of the Celtic Fans Collective, the board has repeatedly taken aim at supporters through a series of punitive decisions. The Green Brigade have been banned since early November, collectively penalising supporters who contribute greatly to the match-day atmosphere and experience without a full investigation or willingness to engage with the group. Fan media access has been revoked, preventing podcasts from attending club press conferences, including for the women's team. Moreover, the club has published statements chastising supporters, facilitated a disgraceful attack on fans by the son of the largest minority shareholder at the AGM, and released videos making baseless accusations against his own fan base. Where we do agree with a board member is in interim chair Brian Wilson's call for unity on Monday evening. This has been sorely lacking all season, and Celtic can only reach its true potential when there is unity across the club. Board, manager, players, and crucially the Celtic support. This is something that all fans want to help push the team in the race for the league title. However, unity can only come through a process of mediation, contrition, and reconciliation. We are calling on Brian Wilson, representative of Celtic Football Club, to meet with the Celtic Fans Collective in the spirit of reconciliation and a genuine desire to achieve unity on the same themes presented in the initial opening letter. 1. Celtic Football Club's footballing strategy must be modernised and communicated with clarity and regularly to its supporters. Additionally, professional recruitment processes need to be deployed with a commitment to making merit-based appointments to key strategic roles. No longer can jobs be filled through the patronage of personal relationships or family ties. Pardon me. There must be a commitment to accountability and transparency. We believe the club requires a genuine reset in executive leadership, and that executive directors Michael Nicholson and Chris Mackay should step aside to enable that reset, given their stated responsibility for the appointments of Paul Tisdale and Wilfred Nancy, and for the growing fan disconnect under their leadership. Unity cannot simply be requested, but rather must be rebuilt through credible actions that demonstrate the club learns from mistakes and changes course when required. The club should reinstate the Green Brigade, revoke the fan media ban, and engage proactively with supporter organisations and independent supporters to rebuild trust, with the medium-term aim of instituting a democratically elected fan advisory board and developing improved communications and an enhanced matchday experience for the Celtic support. We are keen to get behind the manager and players given the importance of the months to come. However, it is worth it noting that 142 active supporter buses 142 active supporter buses contacted us over the week, urging the steering group to call for a boycott of an upcoming home match. Fan anger has reached a breaking point, and the underlying causes of this must be addressed. We wish to move forwards towards a period of reconciliation and systemic change, and we call on Brian Wilson to demonstrate that he is serious about building the fan unity he claims to seek. That's tough to read, but that's brilliantly and well worded, and it makes all the points that need to be made.
The part of it, one with the Nicholson, etc., I don't think that'll fly, but agree with the sentiment, but the rest of it, aye, totally. You know, so, but aye, that's always been the stance anyway, get rid of Nicholas and Mackay. So, yeah. But as I say, we've got a board in name only. We've got a dictator that runs the show. But surely a dictator would even want decent folk to be in place to run and shoot.
Here's the thing about being a dictator. You want efficiency to be a dictator. If you be a dictator without efficiency, you're fucked. You're going to get kidnapped.
Exactly. But, we'll see what Brian Robson's got. I hold out no hope whatsoever, but let's hope I'm wrong.
Aye. Scott, you there? Scott.
Yes. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That's very well written.
They done well, didn't they?
Very, 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 very good. Difficult to read with a guy with a former speech impediment, in fairness.
I threw you under the bus there, to be fair.
What?
I'm saying we threw you under the bus there, to be fair.
I know, yeah. Too many
Those
fucking...
Too many the voice of the HomeBhoys. Come on, man.
That's the problem.
Now, that wee Dick Flynn doesn't want to turn up. It's his fault. I mean,
where is Flynn?
I was ready to give him all the plaudits as well, because if you remember back, as soon as Nancy was appointed, he called it straight away.
Do you know what? His silence is his protest against people, us not trusting him. That's what he's like. Stubborn. You can't. Liam, you got to shoot off, buddy.
I've got to shoot off, mate. I'm going to go and study my history of countries' names properly so I can get them right for the next show.
European history.
Yeah. East Germany, Czechoslovakia. We'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there soon. Yeah. Need to jump, guys.
And the footballing past of Joe McBride Jr.
Do you know what I learned studying Greek philosophy? That Turkey used to be called Asia Minor.
Say that again? I missed that.
When I was studying Greek philosophy, I learned that Turkey used to be called Asia Minor.
I don't think the full country was, because it was part of the Ottoman Empire. Turkey is a new country.
I know, but long back in the
Ottoman Empire.
But back in the fucking back when it was like Socrates and fucking Plato.
Well, back in the day of soccer. So
right, that's a good time for me to go. Let's
so the actual landmass of Turkey was still the same landmass, called a different thing.
No, they considered that part of the world Asia Minor.
Well, that part of the world, so it wasn't Turkey at all.
Well, that's what fucking Turkey is now, isn't it?
Aye, but no just Turkey. There's been other states involved in that as well.
Aye, I know, but like fucking that, all right, Captain Pedantic, that's fucking good.
Right, okay.
Fuck it, like you're saying that as if you didn't fucking know that. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, listen. Sometimes facts just go out there, and you go like, "Ah, that's dead on. He's full of shit. Move on." I mean, you just know me well.
It's quite fascinating about that full Ottoman Empire stuff. See look back into it.
I used to listen to a guy called Dan Carlin. Had a thing called Hardcore History back in the day.
Yeah, really good.
Did a fucking 5-part series. I have it in CD. I got it in CD for Christmas about the Mongols with Genghis Khan.
Aye.
Unfucking believable. 5% of the planet is distantly related to Genghis Khan.
Aye.
So that's a lot of bucking.
Well, see if you watch the old film Lawrence of Arabia that was on last week. That kind of that's like based on like when the British were friendly with the Arabs when they went against the Ottoman Empire. You know?
No, the Brits historically are like. The Brits are historically, and still to this day, like a crowd of people outside a club, right? Well, with a bit of aggro, and some company and goes, "We should all start punching each other. Fuck, what's happening?" I mean, and they just start fucking up the vibe. I mean, people are kind of getting on everything's fine.
Well, that's how they say. That's how the phrase came. Draw lines in the sand. How they created all countries like Iran and Iraq, Syria, etc. They put in. See, like the royal families and all that, like the Shah Iran and all that. They weren't like historical families that were tribal leaders that owned all that land. They get put in there by the British government. run it after they carved it up.
Honestly, you know what this is reminding me? The Wayne's World scene where they're talking to Alice Cooper and he starts talking about Milwaukee.
Oh my God, you're Alice Cooper. That is a deep cut, Scott. That is a deep.
Do you know I've never seen Wayne's World? So
there you go. Next time I was going to say what a swallow carrying a coconut, but
You were-
oh, I know that one. Could grab it by the husk.
It's funny seeing a Wayne's World where they're talking to Alice Cooper and they're expecting him to be Alice Cooper and he just starts talking about fucking history and shit. About the history of Milwaukee, is it?
Do you know it's actually pronounced Milwaukee? Does this guy know how to party or what?
Oh God! That's how this podcast like. We can go from Alice Cooper from Milwaukee to fucking Watford Dancy. Oh fuck!
We'll need to start the old wee history of some random club in the world again. The Copenhagen one. That was
Copenhagen one might have been the weirdest. Listen, here, see if you have insomnia. Find the Copenhagen fucking podcast.
I know we've spoken about this in the past, but did you think when you were kind of studying, you were kind of going, "This mother boring as fuck."
Aye, let's fucking park this.
Do you know what I think happened, Scott? I think I was more committed to the task of breaking it down than I was actually to the entertainment value of it all. I mean, because it was my turn to do it, and I had to meet. You had done. What did you done?
Well, I'd done Athletic Club and had you split.
Okay, and Jason. You did Independiente, was it?
I did Independiente, but I think did we not do some in Brazil as well? Did we not do the?
I thought you done in Brazil,
aye. But did we ever do Red Star and Partizan?
Yeah.
No. I went on to Copenhagen. He started out as a tennis club.
That was it. I think Joe started with Raja Casablanca.
I actually started Raja
Casablanca. That was brilliant. That one. That was really good.
That was a fluke.
But the funny thing is, though, probably same as like. Do you know, like we'll sit and talk about the Green Brigade and guys will find it really interesting. You'll get two guys who go, just talk about fucking Celtic, you prick. I spoke to two guys in the same boozer in the same afternoon and one went, by the way, I'm loving this fucking club thing you're doing. And this other boy, 20 minutes later, he's like, see that club thing you're doing? It's a pile of shit. I was like, thanks for the feedback, gents.
There's an audience for everything. And also nothing.
Was that during lockdown we were doing that?
It might have been tail end, I think it was.
I think it was a tail end because I remember Paddy coming on and him sitting there going, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Do you know? I think Paddy might have been on the fucking Copenhagen one.
I think the Copenhagen. That's what Paddy's never come back with.
Do you know what I found them fascinating, right? And Scott, I know you get right into the details. See, like when you do your end of season, that's my favourite podcast of the year. When you do your end of season review,
just
at the start of the year, because you do all the work and we just sit and listen to it. We're just listeners, and it's fucking brilliant. And you bring hundreds of things back to the season that you forgot about, and it fucking gets different conversations going really good. But see when we were doing that research for all the mad clubs around about the world, I found it absolutely fascinating, and you get totally took in with it. Do you know what I mean? You get fucking. I didn't know this, I didn't know that, and found out all this shit about it. I thought it was great. I loved it.
We should bring that back, but we should ask people online which clubs are interesting. I'm sure there's people out there that have mad interesting clubs that we just don't know about. I mean, what always intrigued me was it Chili John you had on something about the Everton of Uruguay?
Well, he did the tour of South America, so he basically did. So there's 6 Evertons in South America, and he went and watched the 6. I went to the 6 of their stadiums.
Wasn't there a specific one that might have been the first?
Well, no, the one in Uruguay, there's one in Argentina that's called Liverpool, but he's claimed them as Everton because when they were formed, Liverpool weren't a football team at the time. So they were named after the city of Liverpool. Mm. So Liverpool FC wasn't even a football team at the time, so he's claimed them. But But it was interesting how he says that all English teams, or loads of English teams, have got clubs in South America named after them, but there isn't one Celtic in South America because the vast majority of our support base was all poor and like didn't have the money. But ironically, when I listened to that McWilliams podcast once, he says, see, back in the start of the 20th century, there was as many Irish emigrating to Argentina as there was emigrating to Australia.
I mean, I found this out in the maddest way, Jason, right? When I was 21, right, I obviously moved from Belfast to New York, right? And then I ended up spending time in New York for 4 or 5 months, moved down to Florida, right? Worked in a pub in Florida, right? Obviously fucking in Fort Lauderdale, near Miami, right? A lot of fucking Latino influence down there. You've been there, you know that, right?
Aye.
And a lot of fucking Cubans, Argentinians, fucking Mexicans, many Cubans, right? Ended up in this nightclub one night, dancing with this girl, obviously fucking way to my league, right? Giving it sacks, chatting to her. And she goes, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm Irish." She goes, "So am I." And I was like, "No, you're not." She was as fucking like as Latino as fuck. Like, I said, "No, you're not." She goes, My name is Sheridan." I said, "Fuck off." She pulled her fucking driving license out, and it was like Margarita Sheridan. I was like, "Here, more for a drink here and have a chat." And she explained, like, she's, "Oh yeah, Irish and Argentina." And I was like, never knew that at all.
Aye, because see, like basically the ships leaving when the Irish were emigrating, and there was as many going to Argentina as was going to Australia, and obviously North America. But for whatever reason, it didn't kick on because there was loads of work in South America, loads of work in Argentina. So loads and loads of Irish went there. Because actually the ironic thing is when you go to, I've never been, I've never been to South America. My dream, Buenos Aires and Rio and Sao Paulo, I'd love to go and see them. But in Rio, we've obviously spoke about this. Like Corinthians, the football team in Rio, they're all Spanish descent, mostly for the Spanish Civil War. And that's the barrio in Sao Paulo where they all settled. And likewise, when you go to Argentina, when you go to Buenos Aires, loads of them are of Italian descent because the amount of Italians that immigrated there, although they speak Spanish now, they speak it with an Italian influence, loads of them. And there's certain areas, it was all Italians. And so Palmeiras and Sao Paulo, they're the Italian team, Corinthians are the Spanish team. And Sao Paulo must be, I don't know, maybe native Brazilians or whatever.
Actually, we should definitely get back on that to some degree. Like, maybe not whole podcast, but you know where we did like a 10, 15-minute session. And now we've got ChatGPT. You're just fucking on the ChatGPT and going, listen, make us fucking 50 minutes.
No, because I did do Corinthians before, because the boy in the chat, Irish man in Porto, he said, "Did you know do Corinthians?" Aye, I did do that one. Yep. I think I did all the teams in Sao Paulo at the time. Nah, I don't know if we did Rio, but aye, it's fascinating. I love learning all shit like that. Yeah. And these football clubs are still quite mystical to us because you've never really played them. You know, we've played. I can mind about it again at Celtic Park. We played Cruzeiro Belo Horizonte, and are they even still a team now?
What are they called?
Cruzeiro Belo Horizonte, a Brazilian team.
Me.
Can you mind? You're too young for that, Scott.
Is that Cruzeiro though?
Aye, it will be. But that was their name.
Cruzeiro is still a pretty big club.
Right. So
I've just looked at them. Cruzeiro still. I mean, the old Brazilian managers, the manager Tite. Cruzeiro's pretty big.
I take it they come from Belo Horizonte.
Yeah, based in Belo Horizonte.
Aye, because that was their name when we played them. And
right.
Did Celtic no play Flamengo as well?
We played Flamengo in 1994. We played them in Dublin and we played them in Hampden. We played them in 2 weeks in the bounce. And we tried to sign a guy called Savio from them.
Right.
For £1 million. Tommy Burns tried to sign him.
I remember that name.
And they rejected the offer for him. and because they said this guy was going to be a legendary star for them, and he ended up signing with Real Madrid. He never played much for Real Madrid, but like Bordeaux, I remember him playing with Bordeaux. But it was one of the points now. Like the Brazilians were fucking shit hot. Now you get Brazilians called Fred, and they're fucking hopeless. Do you know what I mean?
79 Niños who can't play, take a free kick for shit.
Savio, right? So sure enough, right? Just to confirm what I said, he's 51 now, right? And he played for Flamengo in 1993. So he'd have been fucking 1990. So he'd have been 19 when we played. He'd have been 20 when we tried to sign him, and he signed for Real Madrid, right enough. He played over 100 games, 100 league games for Real Madrid. 160 games he played for Real Madrid and scored 30 goals. I'm saying he never fucking done really well, Real Madrid. He went to Bordeaux on loan, and then he ended up with Real Zaragoza, and then Real Sociedad Levante, and finished at Famagusta. But I remember him. Because he played the same team with Romario and Edmundo at fucking Flamengo. It's mental the stuff you remember when you didn't drink, isn't it?
I know. So I've just googled it in AI there. So Celtic's only played 2 Brazilian teams. Flamengo.
Is that it? Fucking hell.
Aye. And interestingly, I'm just going to go down a rabbit hole there. Have we ever played an Argentinian
I called it Flamengo.
What?
Sorry,
Big
I was just saying that.
So we've obviously played Racing Club, but have we played any other?
I hate ChatGPT fucking shit.
We played plenty of Mexican teams, though.
Name me one, Joe.
Couldn't.
I know Krosa signed for a Mexican team, right?
I'm basing that off the fact that we signed Efrain Juarez only.
No, but
we must have played one Mexican team the same him.
Santos Laguna, surely.
Santos, the wear our strips.
I remember we played Boca Junior. Did we ever fucking play them?
See, when I was in Florida,
we played Atlas, Joe.
We played Tampa Bay Mutiny. When I lived in Florida, we played Tampa Bay Mutiny, and that, to me, that was a Latin team. Valderrama was the captain. Every other footballer was Latin.
But no,
American. But it's no, Joe. Right, so wait a minute. 1966. 1966, we played Atlas of Mexico. 67, we obviously played Racing Club 3 times, but we also played Penarol that year as well.
There you go, the Uruguay.
Of Uruguay. We played Necaxa of Mexico in 1968. In 1971, we played Nacional of Uruguay. 73, we played Penarol again. 76, we played Penarol. Fucking hell, man. 88, as you say, we beat Cruzeiro 4-2. And then 1994, we drew 1 each with Flamengo. And then that was in Dublin, we drew 1 each. And then Malcolm McCarthy scored the equaliser. And then we drew 2-2 with them in Hampden.
Aye. Did we play?
So here it goes, right? So Andy Walker scored twice, but the Brazilian winger Savio was the star of the night with a wonderful performance. So impressive that Celtic tabled a bid and were close to getting him. But Tommy Burns left frustrated when the deal collapsed, and a few years later, the Bulls Savio earned a move to the Bernabeu with Real Madrid. Right, Boca Juniors in 2003. That was under Martin O'Neill.
Was that in an American tour?
Yeah. That was in Cleveland. Yeah.
What year was that?
Say that again, mate.
What year?
2003.
Might have been.
We beat them 1-0.
No.
Carlos Tevez came off the bench for them. We beat them 1-0. In 2006, we played in another tour of America, and we had a goalless draw with Chivas.
Oh, Chivas Regal, Mexican.
No, I don't think they're Chivas Regal. I think that's a whiskey.
Aye, but is that not how they get their name? Are they no sponsor with them?
What?
I don't know. Maybe that's just made up, man.
No, Chivas is a team.
Is that a town?
By country, how many have we played South American ways?
The Chivas Guadalajara. Nickname
That's
Chivas.
next door.
Aye, they're Chivas de Guadalajara. So Chivas Regal, they weren't named after a whiskey.
Oh, is it? No, right. That's fucking.
That sounded a bit mental.
Loads of Mexican teams then. Like I said.
So we played one. By the way, Joe, you're right. 3. Told you. Couldn't name one, but told you.
I know, but listen.
Okay. Right, we calling it.
Wrap up the fuck. I think what we needed to do was expel the 33 days of night, which is the end of this podcast.
Well, I'll tell you, once we do a Brendan Rodgers retrospective, we'll do a fucking Wilfred Nancy, man.
Do you know what's mad though?
He came, he saw me, annoyed every cunt.
It's been that chaotic that we haven't had enough time to fucking do the retrospective. I mean,
No.
It's been like a broken home, turmoil, a broken home, slamming doors, cunts walking in, cunts walking out, problems, fights. Go like, fuck me, it's chaos. I think I'm hiding in the corner. It's bizarre.
Aye, but it's fucking. It's you would just hope with that statement that's been released there, Scott. You would just hope that the board fucking extend the olive branch.
Aye.
And even and obviously the collectives demanding the move Mackay and Nicholson, right? Well, if Nicholson's a guy that extends the olive branch, right? At the end of the day, you need to take him at face value and come on. So as you'd said before, and I'm in agreement with you, if by some miracle Nicholson gets his house in order and starts communicating, I don't think there's any chance of that happening. I wouldn't care if he's in the role, right? But he needs to get a hell of a lot better at it. I just don't think that's possible. I think he's in the wrong job. But
I do feel, J-Bo, it's anybody in that position, unless you're willing to be that Peter Lowell type character, then we're going to always end up with a fucking a Michael Nicholson, just a fucking dummy.
Do you not think with someone like him, right? And obviously we don't know the guy, and I don't want to besmirch him personally, right? But him being in that position, him being in that position, right? Without what is perceived among lots of people as being like an absence of either authority or autonomy or some sort of capacity to take charge of the reins, whether it be in the press, in the media, in communications, whatever it may be. Do you think that to some degree that kind of demonstrates one of the massive biggest problems with Celtic is that like there's no actual leadership, there's nobody to actually communicate to who's going to respond rather than react? I think the club as a whole reacts. I think a person with autonomy and responsibility and capacity to be in charge, who can feed back and influence different networks and channels within the club, is able to then coordinate a response rather than be the victim of a reaction. I think a guy like Nicholson is the victim of a reaction rather than a guy that coordinated a response, and that puts you in a really bad position because you're never going to win.
Again, Joe, I think we've went over this, and this is kind of this is my belief how we've ended up where we are, and I'll do it as quick as I can. And there's a guy called Shankland T98 commenting and all that, and he's not saying nothing fucking mental, so let him go mental, right? But I'll come to him in a second. And Jason spoke about it in the past. Exactly. So I mean, he's not saying anything offensive.
Yeah. Good on you, man. You're right.
So I believe your man Dermot Desmond did have Celtic's best interest when he got us, to an extent, right? What people need to remember about Dermot Desmond's investment into Celtic was his intention, Jason, and I think this is a really pertinent one for guys like me and you.
Exactly.
Is that it was Dermot Desmond's intention Again, sorry, before I get to the point, I want all these people in the press who laud him and all that to think about this. It was his intention to take Celtic out of Scottish football. That was his intention.
I think that's the only right reason why
Right.
he invested in this.
Exactly, mate. Right. So you think about that. Think about that. Think about that alone. He bought our club to ultimately take it away from us. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people out there who'll have the argument, and it's a fair argument, that it might have accentuated Celtic and made them fucking what they could have been and stuff like that. But as I've often said, I'm a Scottish independent supporter, and the thought of my club becoming an English club sickens the fucking life at me. And me and you have spoken with it, Jason, and we've kind of clearly said, if Celtic were ever to join an English league, I'd be done with it, right? And I think that's just my opinion on it. So think about that's what Dermot Desmond was trying to do with Celtic. His influence at Celtic allowed us a certain amount of comfort, which I appreciate. I do appreciate. We were never in any financial bother on them, right? But over time, as I said, he installed Peter Law and gave Peter Law the autonomy to be the main guy at Celtic, to be the baddie if needs be, but to be the main guy. Has anybody you speak to that worked at Celtic, Peter Law was the overseer. He had his fingers in everything. If you worked the ticket office, Peter Law knew about it. If you'd done a podcast, he knew about it. He knew about everything. He was involved in everything. And at one stage, he still had that drive. I spoke about it earlier. He definitely had an arrogance, and maybe winning loads of leagues allows you that arrogance. But as I say, obviously the weakness of Scottish football and the weakness, because you've got to remember, after the fuck happened here? Oh, it's Marty. Marty just come in.
Marty Flynn, you're coming at the very end of the show, and Scott's on a rant. Fuck up.
Right,
Scott,
so
carry on.
aye, so you think it, in the end of the 2000s, or the end of the 1999, Scottish football was going tits up. Huns had overspent, Motherwood overspent, Dundee United overspent, clubs were going into administration left, right and centre. It was a shit show. And we kind of screwed the nut after we kind of went a bit mental, and it's allowed us to do what we've done. But Peter Law was doing things. He was kind of pushing us right. It wouldn't have been for me, some of the stuff he done, but he was doing it. But what we've got to a point is we started making a profit. And in the football world, that's not usually a done thing, especially in Scotland. And I think everybody outside of us got comfortable with that situation. They got comfortable with, we didn't need to overstretch ourselves. We were generally making a profit. We were making a profit for our shareholders, which kept them happy. So they weren't needing to fling money in. They were all getting our money back. We were still winning the leagues. It was keeping us from fucking flinging inflatable sharks at them every week. And everyone has took their eye off the ball. And it's allowed, as you rightly said, I don't think we're a proper football club now anymore. We're like a business who kind of do football stuff. And I think it's hard for somebody who has had success in that business environment to then won't revert to being the football come first. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I could be talking one like a lot of shit.
No. And by the way,
but Tony Bloom's come in, and the Aberdeen guys have come in, and the Hibs guys have come in, and they've put the club first. See, Aberdeen are made a cunt. I know they are, right? I know they are. But Aberdeen, any money that comes into Aberdeen are putting it back into the club. They're putting it back out of that pitch. Hearts are going to be doing the same. Hearts have saw a weakness and they went for it. And right now they've been proven fucking bang on the button. And Hibs themselves look like the best nick they've been in for years.
Oh, they look
as a club. Do you know what I mean? And we're getting rightfully punished for that arrogance. I mean, I laugh at people who call us entitled, us sitting here. I actually think the entitled guys are the ones on our board. I think they're the entitled ones. They think that because they've done it in the past, that they should still be lauded for it instead of being modern. And Joe, to eventually come back to your point, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Because they've done something so successfully to an extent, so for so long, they refuse to accept that things could be better and there is no challenge amongst themselves. It's almost they're fucking patting themselves in the back too much. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know.
No. A lot of really good points. But what I would say, see with Peter Law, right? And this might not be a popular opinion, but I'd say he's definitely done a lot more good for Celtic than he's done bad. There's tons of stuff that I disagreed with him. But I would say a younger Peter Law, I would take him every day of the week before Michael Nicholson in that position. You know, a younger guy with a drive. That was like, he'd ran his race, right? He'd ran his race and it got stale and you needed a change. But we miss having a dynamic guy like that as the CEO. And things didn't go great in Europe. It's been terrible. You know, as I said, since I'm 54 years old, since I've been born, fucking two European Cup semi-finals, which I can't remember because it was just when I was born. And then UEFA Cup final in 2003 and two last 16 appearances in the Champions League. And that's it. That's your whack. That's it in my lifetime. And that's fucking abominable for a team like Celtic. But you're 100% right. You've got a guy at Hearts has come in there and he's got a bit about him. And he will definitely take them forward. And folk are saying to me, if Hearts don't win the league this year, they'll never win it. And I'm like, that's utter fucking bullshit. They'll get stronger every year because Celtic and Rangers are run by fucking idiots that haven't got any foresight. You know, they don't have like the analytics team that Hearts have got. They don't have Hearts are fucking bankrolled by a guy with plenty of money now. And you know, but see honestly, right, we've cried out for it, right? And it's been because of our failings, because we've been shit, right, in the amount of games we've shit this season. But we've now got a league with 5 teams that's got a chance of winning it. And people might laugh and think Motherwell and Hibs don't have a chance. I think they do. Hibs are 10 points behind. But you say to yourself, they've got a chance. They're a good side. Motherwell are fucking deadly. If they can keep hold of that manager and keep most of their players to the end of the season, they've got a fucking chance of winning this. Rangers are fucking not that good. We're not that good.
Hunter just went 3 points in front of us today.
Is it 2-0 now still? But I don't think they're any good. We were a better team by a mile on Saturday and just couldn't put the ball in the net. I can't see it. But they've got a manager now that knows his onions. He's decent. He knows how to get a team over the line. And he seems to be an alright kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't come out with any fucking madness. And he's got an average team playing alright and getting results. I don't think Hearts are a great side. I think they're alright. They've got a decent manager, knows how to get results. I think they might fall away. I don't know. I think David Gray's a good manager. I think Hibs are a better team than Hearts, to be honest with you. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Motherwell, to me, is the best team in the league, don't they? And they've got the best manager in the league. And you're like, how fucking mad is that? That's fucking bonkers. But we've got a league now that's right exciting. And it's no through fucking great football, but we've definitely regressed. The rest of them have got slightly better.
Yeah, that was always the concern and the frustration, wasn't it? If there was ever going to be a challenge in Scottish football, we didn't want it because we were stinking the place out.
I wanted to get better and challenge.
Exactly. And as you rightly said, who knows if Hearts if they manage to go the league. Because the fact of the matter is, much as I don't like fucking Hearts, I want them to win it in front of Rangers. I mean,
Well, I was actually saying, see, after walking out the Motherwell game, I'm like, I only hope this season's Hibs at Motherwell. I was like, because if we'd kept Nancy in charge, we'd be lucky to finish top 6. Falkirk, I'm telling you, Falkirk are doing well and all. Fucking Dundee are even fucking pulling results out their arse now. It was interesting. Strachan was on some podcast. It was an open goal or something. It was really good. It was open goal. And they said quite near the end, so do you think there's any chance Dundee will get relegated? He's like, no chance. He's like, too good. They've got good enough players. Says, I can't mind exactly what he said, but he said there was no chance, and he was like, a matter of fact about it, but he's kind of been proven right. Yeah.
We give Marty Flynn the last word.
Fuck that.
Wrap it up. The fuck.
Marty, you missed it. I was going to give you all the plaudits. You're the man that called Wilfred Nancy day one. Fucking, you tell us all, and I fucking tried to shout you down, and fucking by God, you're right.
Listen, Scott McCurry hates when I'm right. And I don't particularly fucking like it either.
no, I don't.
Nobody likes when you're right, Marty. Nobody likes it.
But
I'd say Jackie really hits the most.
But you want to be wrong. Do you know what I'm on? I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. You know, you want to be wrong. You want to fucking see a guy coming in and just going, right, here's what it is. Bang, bang.
You did say that though at the time. You did say, I want to be wrong here.
Of course you could. You want to see him say fucking bang, bang, gravy chip. You know what I mean? But yeah, that fucking clown. See the press conference on Friday where he went on his big rant. Like I watched the whole rant. You know what I mean? And I honestly started to feel sorry for him. You're just like, fuck, you are so far out of your depth here that this is not your fault. You know, and even at the weekend when you saw the pictures of him in the hotel in Loch Lomond on his own, you know what I mean? Who the fuck? Nobody wants anybody to be like that. You know what I mean? Like,
the question is, Marty, at some point, like, the club shares a responsibility in putting that guy in that position.
No, the club. It's the club's total responsibility. That was my next point. I mean, it's not his fault. He did not appoint himself, but so if you're, I don't know how. Right, so Paul Tisdale is responsible for that appointment. Right, I was told that Nancy really did impress when he was spoken to in London when they were going through their fucking due diligence or whatever they did. So I don't know how Paul Tisdale got a job at Celtic, and I don't know how Wilfred Nancy was considered for a job at Celtic because, so I've been told fucking, you know, I don't know if it's true, but like Tisdale was at a wedding and he met Dermot Desmond and they got chatting and Dermot went, "You're the man for me." But you think about it this way: if that is true, right, and if you're in that position where you're talking to this guy and he's telling you how brilliant he is, what's the first thing you say? What is the first thing you say? Listen, that sounds brilliant.
Escon's full of shit.
Send me your CV. Fire your CV into me in the morning. There's my card. Let me see your CV. And one look at Tisdale's CV would have been, you'd have been sitting there hangover going, he talked some fucking cake last night. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And the same should have been done with Wilfred Nancy. No matter what he told you, everybody should have been looking at his fucking CV going, what the fuck, this guy? Just like, and fair play to him for whatever he done in the MLS. But even if they had looked at the MLS table this year, where the team was and where they finished, would have surely the fuck raised an alarm bell. And the Huns have had 2 French managers and both have bombed, and now we've had one. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the continental option isn't always the best option. You're looking at their CVs and going, are the players going to be motivated by this guy coming in? Has he got a track record of delivery at any really decent level in football at all? Do you know? And this fucker has brought in himself and 4 or 5 staff, all of whom have now had to be paid off. It's just, it completely sums up Celtic. It sums up the absolute malaise at the club, the mismanagement. Like Jason saying there about Peter Lawwell's done lots of good stuff. I'm not arguing the point. That's not my point when I get into it. What I'm saying is what Jason's final point was look at the fucking outright malaise that just infects the club. And Scott's right about the entitlement. It's like we know fucking best. You know, we've been here for 25 years, fucking blah blah blah. And you're like, so fuck. Like the world is falling down around you and you haven't even fucking noticed. And like there's the complete lack of football knowledge on the board is so telling. Like somebody should have been, you know, within the first four matches of Nancy, anybody who was of a football name would have been going, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. You know, alarm, we need to start getting preparations in there in case it doesn't work. And we're, I said it a million fucking times. Our former chairman was a fucking accountant. Our current chief executive is a lawyer. You should never let either run fucking anything. And that dithering fucking Arnold Rimmer, fucking chief executive, is just like, who could take that man seriously? Like we're in the midst of a transfer window. He's in charge of our transfer policy. Who the fuck would listen to him? Do you know what I mean? Unless you were like a player down on your luck, you know, and you maybe want to play in you know, on Sky a couple of times for the next 6 months. Who the fuck is he going to convince to come to Celtic? He can't even fucking convince our fans that he's worth a fuck. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And like, as I say, we've always been very fair on Celtic. We don't really go in for the bullshit festival and slaughtering for everything to do. But sometimes they absolutely have to be called out. And this is it. Like it's crunch time. I read the collective's letter before it came online. There is nothing in that letter that is in any way controversial that I can see. Like Mackay and Nicholson stepping aside, they may dig their heels in and go no. And then you go, that's fine, but we're going to have to set up some other structure then within the club because it ain't working. But we have now is now working. We have an absentee landlord, brackets owner. Do you know what I mean? Who again was doing the wheeling and dealing again to bring back Martin O'Neill. Why? We all fucking know why. Because you couldn't trust Nicholson to do it. And O'Neill would probably just tell him no. Do you know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy. And then what's going to happen here is O'Neill will be into the end of the season and then he'll be told to fuck off again. When actually, what we've been talking about in terms of completing transfers and even approaching managers is you need someone with a bit of charisma and a bit of nous and a bit of passion to do that work for you. Give him a fucking job. He's 73. He was asked today about taking the job on full time and he basically said no. He basically says, I don't really have enough time left in my life to do a job like this. Do you know, I'm happy to be here for these 6 months, but I'm not looking beyond the 6 months. So say to him, that's not a problem. Sound. But here's this other fucking job that we have for you. We want you to be a player liaison person or what, make it up, whatever the fuck. But you start there and you start taking his advice. When he says, don't fucking do this, fucking do that. It's all simple stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's none of that. They've completely ignored everybody. I mean, Roy Aitken's supposed to be our president, but he's a president, and it's like a ceremonial thing. He turns up the fucking check handovers, and when somebody else can't go somewhere, they'll send him. That's not what we need. We need like a pyramid structure within the club where everybody answers to one person, but that person doesn't work alone. That they're advised, and like there's a fans advisory board being proposed. Who the fuck would have a problem with that?
Celtic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Jason's been
Exactly.
talking to one for fucking how long?
Millions of years since as long as I've been on the fucking homeboys. Like it is such a simple thing, and like here's the thing: our fans have a reputation of being bullshit and fucking this and that. We're actually not. We're actually far from it, and you can see it in the split in the fans, where some fans want action and other ones don't, and blah blah blah. We are a fan base where if you give us like a fucking crumb of whatever, we fucking lap it up. We love it. And yet they don't even do that. They just fucking ignore you. You know, just fuck yous. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's really, really mad. Promoting these people from within is a disaster. And I mean, you're sort of saying, thank God this has all happened because it just shows the fucking state we're in. Brenton Rodgers, when he walked out, really did lift the veil because
Yeah,
you could
yeah. I was saying that earlier, Marty.
now you know.
It,
It's like
it definitely looks like that, doesn't it?
Oh, it is. It's 100%. He just went, no, it is. Fuck yous. Fuck yous.
Marty, I know you kind of gave the big warning when we were all going after one, and Rogers was annoying the fuck out of us and stuff like that. But we've all fucking clocked it. But like I say, I've been kind of looking back over the period that he left, and just you're looking at new and you're looking at Johnny Kenny and everybody. There was a guy in the toilet. Shoot, should I tell a story? No, there was a guy in the toilet. There was a guy in the toilet.
Drop their name.
I'm trying at the end of the game. At the end of the game on Saturday, and I went to the toilet. We were 3-1 down. I went to the toilet, and there was a guy in the toilet going, "Oh, we had a striker. See that first half? We were fucking brilliant." And I fucking blew my top, and I was like, instead of sitting storming here, holding your bobby, telling us how great Celtic are, you should be pissed off that your club's done this to you. Because we've done this, we've done it on purpose. You know what I mean? There's nothing. But I've already went off on that rant. So, but it's just we all need to kind of need
we're
to.
now in it's like a scene from Blazing Saddles. Like Scott McCoy was right, Ravender. You know what I mean? And fucking
Alan Johnson, right?
You know what I mean? It's Brett
Telegraph
Rodgers
Mark
right.
O'Neill. Telegraph Mark O'Neill.
Fucking, you know what I mean? That's authentic frontier. They look on us as the
New
people
sheriffs.
speaking.
No.
They look
The
on
new
us.
manager is it?
They look on us as the people who are speaking fucking authentic frontier gibberish instead of actually listening to what we like. Because look, and I had people who like when the fan media were banned. I had people who were on to me going, "Thank fuck that fucking fan media is banned. All they're all wankers and stuff like this."
Yeah.
And I'm looking round, and I'm looking round at the fan media, and I'm looking at the talent and the fucking intelligence and the backgrounds of people who are giving up their free time to give people content about the club they love. And it was pointed out by Paul John Dykes. Paul John Dykes was in the conversation, and Paul John Dykes pointed out that the fact that more people consume fan media than consume the club media. So more people are getting their, this sounds fucking way like, but more people are getting their news from cunts like me than people like Michael Nicholson. And they don't give a fuck.
Well, they don't get anything Michael Nicholson for a kick-off, so you've got an easy start there.
But Marty, what you just said there, right? And I said yesterday, most of us podcasters are wankers. We're not. Like, there's loads of really fucking professional outfits out there. We're the wankers, right? In fairness, we're the fucking bosses of the party, and we enjoy that, right? But what you said there is so fucking symptomatic of how the club basically treats the modern world.
No,
not even us. It's the modern world.
Like it really is. The AGM was a fucking farce. Here's the other thing. I don't know whether or not this has been mentioned, but I messaged it around a couple of places today. See this fucking guy from Israel, the Ivorian striker. Do you see if we sign this guy? I'm actually reporting Celtic to Francesca Albanese for supporting fucking a genocidal campaign. You think about this transfer, right? You have a guy who doesn't even have a wiki page. He's completely unknown in world football. He's playing for a completely unknown Israeli team. He's not playing for one of the top teams in Israel. And he's on loan to another fucking completely unknown Israeli team at the minute too. And he has a fucking injured knee, right? We have his work permit and we've had it for a fucking month, right? We've had a work permit for this guy since the start of December, right? And we are due to pay, if we go through with this transfer, we are due to pay £2 million to these guys, to the initial club that he's not even fucking playing for, right? We're due to pay them £2 million, which is twice the price of Luke McCann, who's a first team player and a Scottish international. That to me is, I as a shareholder, I will be reporting my club to the United Nations for supporting a genocidal apartheid economy, because there is no other fucking explanation for going through with that transfer. None. It makes zero football sense whatsoever, and on any fucking level. And I have no idea who skirted this guy or who proposed this guy. I could fucking guess, but I do not know. And as a Celtic shareholder, I will be personally reporting Celtic to the United Nations and getting them fucking named and shamed by Francesca Albanese, because there's no other explanation for it. Why the fuck would we be signing this guy? He is a nobody. He's playing for a no-mark club, and we're about to part with 2 million of my fucking money, of my shareholders' money.
Surely
Of
that's off the table now that Martin Neal's in.
Well, thank fuck. He said it on the thing. Apparently, he said he was asked a question last night at the Kilsafe do, apparently, and he was asked about, I think his name's Jocelyn Tabby, and apparently O'Neill says the only thing we will tabby in will be winning the league this season, and everybody fucking cheered. But that entire transfer scenario is symptomatic of the fucking idiots that run our club and where their fucking heads are. And the only explanation that I can fucking gather into my head is they want to be seen to be trading with Israel because the fans are pro-Palestinian. And see if they fucking do it, I am reporting them as a shareholder. I will be writing to her, I will be setting all my shareholder details with my certificate, and I will be saying, please investigate this, because here's the reasons it makes zero sense, absolutely fucking no sense, in a year where we've bought Ballyquisha and that other fucking idiot. There's Scott putting the fucking stuff in about him a day. His own fans want rid of him. What the fuck, like? And his was 5 million and we tracked him for 2 years. What's going on? What the
Who's
fuck,
that?
like? Ballyquisha.
Oh, Ballyquisha.
Aye. Wasn't it, Scott? You put the thing in the day.
What about him?
Remember you put the thing out about the
Apparently,
in
so
Belgium.
we bought off Wish.
No, I'm just laughing because see tonight he was brought on by Congo, and I think it was like the 118th minute of fucking injury time. He fucking I think it looked like Hakimi. I'm not sure it was. He cut in and Ballyquisha done fuck all. Just basically moved it away, and the boy stuck in the top corner. And all the Congo fans are all going do Ali. They're like, fuck you, Belgium. You told us this guy was strong. He's fucking rubbish. And I was like,
Yep.
it's not just us, it's been duped.
Belgium no done enough in the Congo, for fuck's sake.
Jason
Fucking
Davis
right.
history
Not
lessons
fucking
again,
Tommy.
fucks.
So in here we're sitting in 8th, third in the table, and they're the sort of fucking transfers like type Tabby, whoever the fuck he is. Like they're seriously considering paying twice the price of Luke McCann for this. Nobody. And that's the only thing I can think of. It's like we want to be seen to be trading with Israel so that these guys don't hate us because our fans love Palestine or something. Fuck off, you fucking head cases. You are lunatics. Absolute lunatics. We have a fucking brilliant story to tell as a club. Do you know what I mean? I hear a club like no other. Away and fuck yourselves. What the fuck would you know?
Not definitely a club like no other, not the right kind of way though.
I see, to be fair, that statement is definitely true. What other club bans sections that saying supporters?
For months
Whole
on end.
swathes of it saying
For months on
supporters.
end. Like not even saying, well, you have a 2-match ban for us right now. They just ban them all together. And you're like, get a fucking leaf. And like as I had my own problems with Green Brigade, I had my own problems with whoever the fuck. It's neither here nor there. These people paid a fortune at the start of the fucking year to get access to watch football games. Do you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing is symptomatic. And if it goes through, I'm telling you now, I will be doing that.
But I think it's quite clear that what we have in Celtic Football Club as a kind of hierarchy between the fans and the fucking club is a massive class disparity that is becoming more and more evident based on how people are treated. And it's
absolutely is true.
And it's really depressing to see because you would love to think, we've always loved to think, and we've always thought, and we've always been proved wrong, that supporting Celtic bonds all of us in that capacity to believe in Celtic as an ethos. And genuinely. And then secondly, as a football team, right? But we have people who now consider Celtic to be a commodity. And then secondly, a football team.
Well, see, on your first point, if you look back 25 years from the year 2000, we've had a deputy governor of the Bank of England as a fucking chair. We've had a Labour war criminal as our chair. We've had a fucking senior Zionist as our chair with a fucking guy who was basically a deaf mute, who was a glove puppet as our fucking chair. We've had a fucking ex-chief executive as our chair. And when I have another fucking former politician fucking goon as our chair. That's our leadership for the past 25 years. 2.5 decades. That's the
So
people who have led our club.
here's the question I need to ask you, Marty. Are we the establishment?
Well, this is the fucking argument that the Huns used to make because there was so
Are
many
we the
fucking
establishment? Are we the
because there
baddies?
were because there was so many fucking Catholic Lord Provosts of Glasgow. All of a sudden, there was no such thing as anti-Catholic discrimination and Catholics on the ring. It's fucking nuts, but it's totally symptomatic. Everything that's happened this year has been building up for the last 25 years. Like we've come to a fucking head, and the Huns going bust have delayed this. All that shit that happened in 2012 has delayed what's happening now. Because if the Huns had been putting it up to us the way they were before they went bust, they won 4 leagues in a row, wasn't it? Like where would we have been in the tweenies, the tween years between 2010 and 2020 if they hadn't have went bust? And they've sat back in their fucking laurels and they've watched us been humiliated in Europe again and again and again. They've fucked over Brendan Rodgers twice. He'll never be back at Celtic Park. I dare say he would never, ever, ever darken our door again. Maybe until he's like an old man. And we'll fucking wheel him out and thank him for, we'll let him do the Paradise Windfall in like 20 fucking 71 or something. Do you know what I mean? It's all been building up. It's going to be more of the same because this other fuckwit Ross Desmond is waiting in the wings. There has to be a reset. There has to be proper like Brian Wilson was out the other week saying you need to give us time. You've been on the fucking board since 2005. What the fuck time do you need? What the like? There has to be a different way of engaging with fans, of gathering the troops together because the Celtic vehicle is powerful. See, when everything's working the way it should be working, and the top are keeping the bottom happy, it's powerful. We've all been there. We all know how it feels. Everybody's on a happy vibe. But those problems build up and build up and build up and build up and build up, and the nepotism and the fucking promoting from within. You'd rather be without a chief executive for a year than putting some fucking idiot into the job quickly. You know what I mean? It's just nuts. And like we spoke on here before.
See the thing, Marty, with the chief exec and all that. I said earlier on before you come on, right? We've got a board in name only, right? See all these positions they've got. None of them have got any power. It's your man Desmond at the top. He decides
100%.
everything of any note that goes on in our club.
And I've just said it today, Jason. Martin O'Neill confirmed it again in his press conference that the call to take the job came from Dermot Desmond.
Aye. He makes every major decision in our club. So that was my point with Peter Lawwell, right? Because obviously Desmond trusted Lawwell, right? So he could be, he could be away in the Bahamas and doing whatever he was doing, and he left Peter Lawwell to run the club. And I think most of the stuff Peter Lawwell done, he got right. And he was a Celtic man. And I know people will decry me for that, but I reckon there'd be more chance of getting some. If Dermot Desmond, if Peter Lawwell was the CEO, there'd be a young Peter Lawwell, no the guy that left, right? He's an old man now and he's done. But it's like a young Peter Lawwell, he would have read the room and he would have got everybody back together.
Don't know, Jason. The young Peter Lawwell worked for us. He was here when the old fucking board was here. And he didn't. There's a very famous line about the Bourbons in France. So the Bourbons were knocked off by during the French Revolution, and then the monarchy was restored about 40 years later. And the fucking famous line, and they were knocked off a fucking game. They were fucked out again. And the famous line about the Bourbons in France was, they learnt nothing and they forgot nothing. That's Peter Lawwell. He learned fuck all and he forgot fuck all. Look at that fucking statement that he released when he left. It was classless. It was barbed. He left looking like a fucking wanker. And no matter what work he's done in the past and all of the stuff, he learned nothing when he was in the post, and he forgot nothing when he was in the post. That's him. That's him. And just like the board,
just like statement they left on was an absolute disgrace.
Just like the Bourbons, he was fucked out and he came back and had to be fucked out again. So that is a good example of that type of mentality. He came back thinking, fucking I know, and it has completely. Look at the fucking state of the place. that he has left. Look at his legacy. His last fucking game as chair was a loss. Was a fucking loss. So was the next one after he left. But on that happy note, gentlemen, O'Neill's
Look
back.
at the
Here we go.
state of you.
Well,
Marty,
hard for O'Neill.
Marty, you said something very poignant there that I want to end on. You said Celtic is a very powerful vehicle. And that's like, that kind of sums up a lot for me. As I'm like, we're in a position now where this powerful vehicle has been like driven off the tracks or fucking misguided. And it comes down to dickheads like us to fucking try and parse that when it comes to podcasting. And people like us are now, you know, pariahs when it comes to like press conferences. When like during COVID and that, there we were kind of like, you know, we were part of the club. And like you said, like when we were part of the club, like we had one of the biggest ever responses to a Celtic press conference we've ever seen. And it's just a massive turnaround in terms of like that powerful vehicle you're talking about. Like, how do you use that? How is that used? And I find that really fucking disturbing. Anyway.
So
right.
we've been doing the houses tonight, but for the matter, we've Liam earlier on reunited Slovakia and the Czech Republic. But for the
Well, listen, here, as an Englishman, he's drawing lines in the sand. You know what I mean?
Joe, tell Marty your other cracker. What was Turkey used to be called?
Asia Minor, part of Turkey.
Part of what? The Ottoman Empire.
Listen. Do
you know here?
Listen, let's not do geography all night. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I only found out recently too? I was actually telling my wife this the other day. The word Orient. Do you know what I mean? Like the Orient or Oriental.
Yeah.
That's actually a racist. It's a racist term. Did you know that?
It would have been at the time.
So and the opposite is the Occident, which is us. So it's like the Occident is like proper and normal and good, and the Orient is like wild and bad and all that sort of fucking shit. So next time you use the word Orient, think again.
There you go. So Occident kind of like means like purified.
Yeah. So Occidental and Oriental. So Occidental is the West, is like proper and neat and tidy, and we're Occidental. But the Oriental is the wild and the fucking opium and all that fucking shit.
And,
so there you go.
There's 7,000 takeaways in the fucking UK are going to change their name.
and the bottom line is they're a civilization long before fucking any others even thought of civilizations.
Until the Brits started running fucking opium up into their fucking districts, up their rivers.
The Brits are never not at it.
The Brits are at it again.
Drawing lines in the sand. Drawing lines in the
sand. Well, that's the fine sound. Fucking
wrap it up.
Right.
I got
wrap it up.
I can't wait for a wee trip in the Bad Express. I'd love to go there with Linda.
Here, by the way.
Bad Express.
I want to float this idea one more time publicly. Right? Big Crave in Dubai won the Coolies live gig. I found a pub down Tipperary. Sleep 16. Not going to cost much for us all. It's an option.
Just saying.
Just saying.
What are you saying on here for? There's only 16 people. Like half a fucking podcast. We get about 5,000 listeners.
Because I haven't got Craig's phone number, and Craig will hear it.
Fucking book it up to fuck.
fucking place burned down for a weekend.
Book it up to fuck.
Folks, that was brilliant. We've done 2 hours and 18 minutes, and we've covered nearly everything. We've exhausted our emotions.
We've covered everything in the world,
including Bournemouth France. Fuck's sake.
You know what? And see now, Wilfred Nancy is no longer in my head. I feel like he's gone now, and that's why I love doing this.
God bless him, by the way. I hope he does well in his future.
Do you know what? See if I bump into him someday. I'll be like, here, listen, mate. You got thrown into the fucking washing machine, mate, and you got fucked out.
He never had a chance to do it.
No, we fucking didn't. Yeah. Anyway, folks, hail. We'll talk to you soon.
See you later.
Jeez.